off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing. Joining me now is really the head of the whole company. Lance thinks he's the boss, but it's really not. It's Jennifer. You're the proud mother of LD Smith Plumbing, whether you want the job or not. How much fun is it to see those 5-star reviews?
It is the best. We love to review those with the guys. To see their smiling faces and know that we have done such a good job in the field is just priceless. My goal is always to make their day a little bit easier. For any plumbing issue, it's ldsmithplumbing.com.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Damon's Garden Company South on Emerson Avenue.
Your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mainly cloudy skies today, maybe a few peaks of sunshine. It is going to be a bit breezy. Winds may gust 20 to 25 miles per hour with highs near 70. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Sean Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 9:06, time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Yeah. We'll get to all the Micah stuff. Now,
okay.
We will. No, that's fine. Yes. Everybody, what? Yes, we'll get to all of that. But first, Casey, we have many big announcements that far eclipse all the Micah Beckwith stuff.
Tell me more. Say more words, Rob Kendall.
It's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's here today. Casey, we enter the bizarro world as Rob Kendall teams up with the angry red-shirted teachers as they are really the last hope for humanity as they've basically abandoned the children to head into the state house to scream at the
I can't
lawyers.
believe that just came out of your head.
I'm wearing my red shirt today.
From your head, through your mouth, out on the air.
Can you see this on the YouTube chat? Rob Kendall wearing his red I Hate Rob Kendall shirt. And I'm going to, when we get off the air today, I'm going to
head over there?
I'm going to head over to the State House.
Good luck.
See our So I'm torn on this case.
Yeah.
So the angry red-shirted teachers are going to be having their big children abandonment day. Rally at the State House, where they're all going to come and scream about Senate Bill 1. And I'm so torn on this because on one hand, obviously support the cause in this case, right? Don't support the reason they don't like Senate Bill 1. We totally disagree on the reasons.
Correct.
Except for at the core, and this is important, at the core of everything, we all feel we're being misled.
Right.
Like we are polar opposites of the spectrum, but we both agree, both sides, our side and their side, agree that Mike Braun is lying to everyone, the General Assembly is misleading everyone, and this is horrible, awful, untransparent public policy that is going to screw everybody.
Boy, hasn't this been the talk all weekend long? So Senate Bill 1 passed the Indiana House, 65 to 29 vote, mostly along party lines. Republicans hailed it as a great win. Democrats called it a scam and a bait and switch. A lot of people trying to figure out what exactly does this bill say. And then over the weekend, the lieutenant governor came out and said, no, let's veto this thing.
All right, so we'll get to him in a second, but we got some big announcements because, look, everyone should hate the governor, okay? Every person who regularly listens to this radio show should hate the governor.
I'm torn on this because I wanted to believe.
Well, right. What's the rule? Casey, when we first met, I laid out rules for our professional and personal relationship. And I said, Casey, what is the one thing that if you do this one thing, we can disagree, we can have arguments, we can have we can have intense discussions.
Yeah.
What did I tell you? I said there is one rule of working with me and in any sort of relationship, business, professional, personal, otherwise. What's the one rule?
Don't lie to me.
Do not lie to me. Do not deceive me.
Yeah.
And Mike Braun, not only did he lie and deceive me, he lied and deceived hundreds of thousands of people who tune into this radio show every single day. And they're still doing it. They're still doing it right now on a whole bunch of things in this bill. The best example that I can give you, when I was in that meeting with them, they looked right at me and said, we're eliminating that business personal property tax exemption because there was this exemption for all this equipment that business has that they pay personal property tax on. I said, okay, that's a decent start. Then you start reading the bill and you realize what they did was they raised the reporting threshold from $80,000, which is small businesses, right? A small business is going to be exempted with that, to $2 million, which means a whole bunch of mega companies are not going to have to report their business personal property tax, which is going to be a huge savings for them. So technically, by the letter of the law, we didn't get rid of the exemption, but everybody not named Eli Lilly going to basically be exempted. And this is the bull crap that I'm talking about, Casey.
And that's why that rep from Lake County was asking about this, and Thompson was like, oh, well, this won't affect them because it's over the 2 million mark.
Right. This is, and the thing with the lit, where and we did the deep dive on that, where they're like, well, we're eliminating lit. But they know in reality, and we're going to have Jesse Braun. This is how crazy the world has gotten. Our old pal, Jesse Braun, admitted socialist member of the Democrat socialist, whatever you want to. He's a socialist. He's on the Indianapolis City County Council.
Yeah.
He will be with us in about 20 minutes, and we're going to agree in lockstep that this bill sucks. That's how bad this bill is. Rob Kendall and Jesse Braun are in agreement on how rotten this thing is.
Yeah, you guys couldn't be more polar opposites.
But and Hammer and Nigel have said this, and I think they told Jesse this when he was in on their show. Jesse and I are like the Spider-Man guy pointing at each other because he views the Democrats the way I view the Republicans. We're the two, as warped as I think some of his views are, we are the actual honest altruistic guys in the room because we actually call these people for what they are. And the establishment wings about the Democrat and Republican parties are wholly corrupt. They're bought and sold. Look at this thing going on with Daniel Elliott and the Trust Indiana plan.
Yeah.
Which, boy, howdy, did that set off a firestorm after he came on here.
Yeah, the other big story that happened over the weekend. Are you saying that we should be more angry at Governor Braun than at Houston and Thompson?
Yes, because Braun lied to us. Thompson and Houston are what they've always been. I know what those guys are. Braun looked at us over and over and over and over and over again and lied for months on end. That is one sick puppy, Casey. Braun is, we ought to have your relative who came in here the other day. Here's the deal I'd make with Braun.
Yeah.
If Braun will sit down on the air and your relative who was in here works for the federal government.
Yeah.
And hooks him up to the lie detector.
Does a polygraph.
And he can pass the lie detector. I'll endorse Senate Bill 1. If she can hook Braun up to up to the polygraph, and he can pass the polygraph, I'll come out and openly endorse Senate Bill 1. That seems fair, right? He's not lying.
Right.
There's only two options, Casey. Either he lied to everybody, or he's so uninformed, he has no idea what's in his own bill. Because we've caught him in how many half-truths, lies, misleading already.
Well, it seems to me like he said he was going to fight and that he tried, but he just fell short. That's what I'm wondering. Like, who is in control here? Is it the General Assembly or is it the governor?
Oh, the General Assembly made Braun their...
Yeah, they're trying to flex their muscle.
He's very subservient to Thompson and Houston and Bray, and they told him, they said, they're their little child. You're going to do this, and you're going to like it.
Well, see, and that's why I'm struggling, because he said he was going to fight, and I feel like maybe he tried. He just wasn't able to.
All right, so we have two big announcements to start the program today. Number one, Braun has both a nickname and now a theme song.
Oh, he's got a theme song?
Yeah, oh boy. Carl and I were joking. You have made a very, very powerful enemy, my friend. A neurotic guy with OCD is the worst person to possibly be angry at you. So henceforth, because here, let me lay out the scenario, and you tell me if I got the scenario wrong. Okay. You're the voice of reason here. So Braun, for months, told us and our hundreds of thousands of listeners that he was going to do something. He went to the rally and told us he was going to do, looking 1,000 people in the eye.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. He went to the rally, told everybody he was going to do something, said nothing for weeks afterwards, wasn't like, I changed my mind or blah, blah, blah. Then went behind closed doors, went into the back room, you might say, and cut this horrible deal that he still has no idea what, at best, he's either lying or he has no idea what's in the bill with Thompson and Houston and his adult supervision over there in the General Assembly. And came out and then said, what a great deal it is. And a bunch of the stuff's already been disproven by both sides. So henceforth, Mike Braun shall be known as Backroom Braun.
Backroom Braun.
Backroom Braun. That's the new name.
Making the deal in the back room. Backroom Braun.
But I didn't think in this case, because like with Holcomb, look, it was easy to loathe Holcomb. He was a loathsome character. Mm-hmm. He was a horrible, rotten human being. But he was honest about what he was.
Yeah.
He didn't lie to our audience to get their votes.
Kind of like the Democrats, right?
He stuck his middle finger right in our face and said, you guys know where you can stick this middle finger,
You human petri dishes.
And so I have way more respect for that because he said what he was. Braun lied to every one of us. He screwed every one of us. He's had several days. He's been bombarded. Mm-hmm. Other than the Chamber of Commerce, nobody likes this bill.
Right.
He's had every opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I tried really hard and I thought I was doing the right thing, but I've heard overwhelming from people that they're against this. In good conscience, I tried the best I could.
If he goes through the 3-step process, we'll be okay with it.
Yes, that's right. And what are those?
Those are admit the mistake, apologize, take corrective action.
So Backroom Braun, just giving him a nickname is not. It's not. It was Tax Hike Mike during the primary because he voted for the largest tax increase in the history. And look, I bought it. Blame it. Put it on me. I was like the band song. Take a load off. Mm-hmm. Put the load right on me. I told everybody because I believed it, and I see through these people all the time. That's how good of a liar he was.
You wanted to believe too.
That's how good of a snake Braun is.
You wanted to believe.
So I'm Fox Mulder. I wanted to believe. All right. So here's what I decided to do. There was a very, very famous song in the 1970s by a guy by the name of Al Wilson called The Snake. And The Snake, for those of you who don't know, is a song about this woman who sees this snake and decides to take the snake in, and she nurses it back to health and loves the snake and holds the snake. And then at the end of the song, the snake bites her.
Oh, well.
Yeah. And this is the conversation between the woman and the snake after the snake has bitten her and her death is imminent. And the snake says, you knew what I was. How could you ever have trusted me?
I saved you, cried that woman, and you bit me even a while. And you know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm gonna die. Ah, shut up, silly woman. Say that a reptile with a brain. Now you knew darn well I was a snake before you brought me in. Please take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, tender woman. Sighed the snake.
He had a different theme song originally, didn't he?
He did. And so anytime we do a Braun segment now, the snake will be the theme song because he has with his little poisonous bite, he bit every one of us. He should be ashamed of himself, but he clearly has no shame. So henceforth, we're rolling today. We can talk about Micah when we come back. How about that?
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
When you wake up,
you understand this is about money. 1,000%. They started this.
When you work,
we are gonna make some noise today.
Eliminate property taxes now.
Hanging out with us, it's fun.
Right.
When you drive home.
Is it time to try something new, you think? Because it hasn't worked, and maybe try something new.
Traffic when you need it.
Stopped on 465 again. And
updates all the time.
I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go.
Stay in the know wherever you go with 93 WIBC.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique, patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Robert Kirby says the blueprint blueprint for taking over the family business after 40 successful years won't change.
This business has always been successful because we're really customer oriented. That's what my parents always instilled in me, so that's the way we've continued the business. It's great. We get so much word of mouth business from all of our existing customers, and that's how we get a lot of new customers.
You can be a satisfied customer too by going to KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code YEAR to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our Rhino Shield has been on for 8 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Damon's Garden Center West has trees, shrubs, vegetables, flowers, hanging baskets, plus garden and landscape supplies and knowledgeable staff. Damon's West on Rockville Road.
I'm a political man, and I practice what I
So it took several days, but at least someone, at least there's one person in the administration that seems to have come to, it may have been in a dream of some sort, I don't know, but at least somebody finally stood up over the weekend and was like, this bill sucks, and it should totally be vetoed and thrown in the pits of hell.
Yeah, we knew he'd come around eventually. Of course, that is the Lieutenant Governor, Micah Beckwith. He tweeted out that he had been on the phone all day with Hoosiers and government officials talking about SB 1, the property tax bill, and he said the governor needs to veto this thing, call a special session, and demand the legislature pass something that the average Hoosier can understand without hiring an army of lawyers and accountants. The Senate starts today at 1:30, Rob.
Is there a concurrence? Do we see a concurrence anywhere?
It's a big list on the agenda for today, and they do have SB 1 on the itinerary.
Oh.
It will be later this afternoon if they go in order.
After the red-shirted teacher rally.
After, yes.
Well, look, these people are going to screw you. I mean, hopefully the red-shirted teachers can have some sort of impact, but they're going to screw you. They want this off their plate, and they are banking on what always happens is you'll huff and you'll puff, and then you'll just forget about it. Look, people were sending me their property tax bills. This is what's like hyper offensive is Braun and the jumbo home comment. So I have a couple of friends who live in the north end of Brownsburg, and they sent me their property tax bill, which is it's now $5,000.
Wow.
Which means their home is now a $500,000 home. Well, Braun finally told me in that meeting that the jumbo home was $500,000. And so I said, well, like how big is your house? And I think they said roughly, I mean, it's a nice house, right? There's nobody's crying for them that, they're dying in an alley somewhere. But it's a less than 4,000 square foot home, which again, that's a spacious home, but that is not, where the guy who used to own this place is living, right? I mean, it's not a Colts player level of house, right? That is a nice, upper middle class neighborhood home. And these people are paying $5,000 a year in property taxes now. And Braun thinks they live in a jumbo home.
Yeah, well, and they'll get $300.
Right, you'll get $300 back. By the way, their property tax went up $600 this past year, so they're $300 in the hole. And this is where the line
comes. Like a 50% off coupon.
By the way, they told me that their home was like $245,000 when they bought it. I don't know. It's probably been 10, 12 years ago was what the number was. So it's doubled. It's doubled. They're never moving. Like they're town lifers. So they're just getting, it's always the argument is your investment is going up. No, you're like, if you're not moving, your investment isn't doing anything. So Braun, see, people are going to rip on Jesse Brown for being a socialist. We're going to have him on next. They're going to rip on him. And he is, right? And there's lots of issues with that. But who's doing the more socialist thing? Jesse Brown, who's holding the government accountable, or Braun and the Republicans who are continuing to mass tax unrealized gains? What's the more socialist move between the two things? Of a guy who's like, I'd probably am in a misguided attempt to want to help the poor a little bit more than I already do. Or these guys who are stealing from you for something you're not monetizing when they called Kamala Harris all the names during the election for doing the exact same thing they're doing.
Okay, so we need to talk about Micah Beckwith coming out, though, and saying that he thinks Braun should veto this. This, after quite a few days, he had that for a while. Some people are questioning, where were you from the get-go?
And that's fair. Look, like I think, and I don't know this, but I think Micah wanted to believe that Braun was telling the truth. And I've said this publicly, and I'm not going to back off of it now. And kudos to Micah for doing the right thing. I think Micah lacks sometimes the ability or the desire to dig into the details. When I was first elected to public office, somebody told me, they said, because I had a lot of big ideas, and they said, you're going to find the most important thing you do is the most boring stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, sure thing, old man. And then you realize very quickly.
That's true. That's governing.
That is governing. Government is boring. And I don't think Micah read any of this bill when Thompson presented it. I don't think he read it after it was amended. And I think he was slow to the draw. And look, he went and hung around with Charlie Kirk instead of reading the bill. That's ridiculous. And he should be called out for that. But you should also give somebody credit if they do the right thing. For whatever reason, they do the right thing. And ultimately, Micah Beckwith heard from enough people. And he, as he said, put my team on it. No, put yourself on it. Your job is to make the choice. This is the issue you ran on. This is the issue you got elected to stand up for and get fixed. So you shouldn't get a free pass for taking that long to come around. But he did. That's the point. He did. He's the one guy speaking up. He's the one guy saying, if for no other reason, because I've heard from so many people about how much this bill sucks, which it does, that the governor should veto the bill. And here's come back to Braun and the lying. What did Braun talk about with this bill? His goal was to shrink government. Not happening. I mean, he was adamant he was not going to sign a bill that grows the government. This bill grows the government.
Yeah. Well, it grows the local government. And isn't that the Republican way?
Right. Yes, you're right. So he's lying about that, too. And the fact that it's on the calendar today, I mean, what a scumbag Braun and these guys are. What a complete scumbag to look at all these people and lie to them. And then he's just going to saunter out into society like, you should boo him everywhere he goes. Whatever ire or hatred you had for Holcomb, magnify it by 10. This was some plot from the beginning, Casey.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Many people are saying the old bait and switch.
No, but no doubt he's not that stupid.
Isn't that just so government? We'll call it one. It just reminds me of like Biden with the Inflation Reduction Act.
Sure.
It's
no different.
Let's name it something completely opposite of what it does.
And there is no plan. They're trying to, by the way, do you notice they changed the language on reform is now part of their cap something and reform?
Cut, cap, reform.
Reform now popped in there.
Yeah.
Because they thought, well, Rob's talking about how we have no plan. So if we lie to people and say we have a plan that we're going to reform. There's no reform of local government in this bill. None. There's zero.
But this is, according to them, this is step one.
Yeah. It's like the underwear gnome thing on South Park. Steal underwear, something, profit. What's the thing in the middle? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
They don't know either. Because Braun doesn't know anything about any of this. Braun's lazy. He doesn't understand this. His people don't understand. See, he took a bunch of people that were with him in Washington, and he brought them back to the State House. You know why Mitch Daniels was good? You know why Mitch Daniels got things done?
Because he had people from the state of Indiana.
Who knew how
state, running the state
who knew
of Indiana.
How state government worked.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, let's take a break. Jesse Braun, socialist, Democrat, member of the Indianapolis City County Council, going to join us next.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the big rally going on down the street from us in about 30 minutes.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they called a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kiandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
On the steps of the State House, 62 degrees and cloudy in downtown Indianapolis. More on your forecast in a moment. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Teachers all across Indiana will be arriving, if they haven't already, at the State House for what they call their Day of Action. It puts several schools on an e-learning day or an asynchronous day, including Indianapolis Public Schools. Many of the teachers have already said they do not agree with the property tax bill in its current form. Indiana Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is calling on Governor Mike Braun to veto the bill, and a vote on that might happen today. Warmer temperatures all week long across Indiana, although
there's still a lot of uncertainty with the details, but just know that there is at least a low-end chance for severe weather right now.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service says the flooding situation is easing up in some areas across Indiana with very little rain expected before Friday. An all-female crew of celebrities is on board Blue Origin's next flight to the edge of space. One of those is pop singer Katy Perry, who said earlier today that she's excited.
It's going to be a wild ride, but I know that it's an important moment for the future of commercial space travel and for women all around.
She's joined by Jeff Bezos' fiance, former journalist Lauren Sanchez, and co-host of CBS Morning's Gayle King, among others. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. Starting off the day in the green. The Dow is up 541 points at 40,940. The S&P 500 is up 98 points, 5,489. And the NASDAQ is up 407 points to 19,214. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get zero down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Nearly 3 in 5 Hoosiers say the process for paying for college is hard to understand. Invested VP Bill Wozniak, a financial aid and scholarship expert, has more.
A recent survey shows that Indiana residents value education beyond high school, but many are unaware of resources to limit student loan debt. Post-secondary education is crucial, as Indiana's labor force is expected to reach 3.4 million by 2025. Student loan debt and FAFSA filing concerns, however, could lead many Hoosiers to reconsider higher education.
The good news is that resources are available.
Education is key to Indiana's workforce growth. For decades, our nonprofit InvestEd has assisted Hoosier families in managing college costs with free, one-on-one support in multiple languages. No matter your circumstance, our experts are available to walk you through each step of the FAFSA to help you discover your financial options and give you confidence in the financial aid process.
For more information on help with financial aid, scholarships, or the FAFSA, visit investedindiana.org.
For over 20 years, Howard Bailey Financial has been helping families just like yours gain clarity, confidence, and purpose with personal and practical financial strategies. And now, we're offering our full suite of services on Rangeline Road, right in the heart of Carmel, making it even easier to meet with our experienced team face to face. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating life transitions, or just need guidance for your financial future, we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Text CARMEL to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement resource. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Casey?
Yeah, Rob.
You know things have gotten bad when Rob Kendall and Jesse Brown are in agreement.
Yes, that's some interesting turn of events. My, how the turntables.
Yes, that's right. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Of course, the big rally going on about 30 minutes from now down at the Indiana State House, the Red for Ed rally. And much of the focus of that today, teachers uniting at the State House to join with us, Casey, to stop Senate Bill 1, this disastrous property tax bill.
All right, now let's just put on the brakes here for a second. I would not say that we're teaming up.
Oh, we're teaming up.
I would just say...
Let's put all the pressure on them.
I would just say that we're in agreement that we all want SB 1 vetoed.
Now, Jesse Brown, member of the Indianapolis City County Council, Democrat, joins us. Now, do I still call you a Democrat? Because they kicked you out of the caucus, right?
They kicked me out of the caucus, but 13 people made that vote. 5479 voters voted for me as a Democrat, so I still say Democrat.
So you and I know Hammer said this. I don't want to describe you wrong. You say I'm a socialist, right?
That's right.
Okay. So you and I are about as far apart politically as we can get, but in a weird way, we're sort of the same guy because you view the Democrats the way I view the Republicans.
I think that's right.
You think they're pretty much wholly corrupt and they're stabbing people in the back and they're not in the interest of the people.
Yeah, you'll see their lips moving and they'll say some progressive-sounding things, but then you look at where the rubber meets the road and it's just handing out money to their big corporate donors.
And I think this is where we're at on Senate Bill 1. Now, first of all, tell us a little bit about the rally is what today, 10-2 at the State House, is that right?
Yep, and I want to be super, super clear. I'm not with the teachers union. I'm not with the teachers. I'm not a teacher. I'm not even a parent in IPS, so I'm not speaking on behalf of them by any means, anything I say today.
But you
yes,
have your red
10
on.
to 2. I do have my red on.
We can stand next to each other today at the State House with the red on. All right, so you have two good perspectives on this. Obviously, is your wife a teacher? Is that right?
No, she's not. I'm a former teacher myself.
There we go. Okay, very good. All right, so but you're also a city councilor, and
That's
so
right.
you understand a little bit of the mechanics of like this lit and how that's going to hurt people, and so we'll get into that here. So let's start with what you have a lot of teachers that are friends. What are they trying to do today at the State House?
Well, they're trying to bring attention to the bill. SB 1, as you know it, got a lot of things thrown in and a lot of pork added at the last second. And so as a result, the latest estimate from the Fiscal Services Agency was, $744 million are going to be cut from public education over the next several years under this current plan. And as you know, that was supposed to be this like deep cut in service of homeowners being able to get some property tax relief. Right. And yet when we look at how much they're going to save, it's almost nothing.
Right.
So they're saying if you're going to cut, we're saying no cuts to teachers, no cuts to public education at all. We had a $421 million budget surplus last year, $2.6 billion in the reserves. we can fund other things. We can fund charter schools. We can fund transportation. We can fund homeowner relief, but it shouldn't come from our children. That's all.
Okay, so you don't have a problem with, spending money. Where do you think it should be spent?
Oh, man, if you're asking me personally, yeah, I would love to give every teacher a raise. I think that in the richest country that's ever existed on the face of the earth, whether you're a socialist like me or a libertarian, we should at least all believe in equality of opportunity. And I know too many kids. I think Bright Lane Learning came out with a report that said 4,300 students in Marion County are homeless, sleeping on couches. Really hard to do well in school without that. So I'd love to put any money into helping children, first and foremost.
How does one become a socialist?
I think you read too much and your brain slowly dissolves away.
Like, what does that mean, you're a socialist? In your mind, what does that mean?
Yeah, I get this question a lot, as you, I'm sure, could imagine. Here's the way I put it. I think that the everyday people should be the ones in the driver's seat of the economy and of our democracy. And so that means, even though, historically people say socialist means big government and, the big government's deciding what to do for you. I'm saying the people should decide what happens, whether that's through government or the economy.
So you're not like Stalin, like throw me in a gulag socialist.
That's right.
Okay, very good.
Which makes sense because, people like tar me with defund the police. I don't use that slogan, but there's pictures of me wearing a shirt that says that on the internet you can find. So it's hard to imagine how I could, support a police state while also going against more police funding.
It's a totally weird world we're in where we have to team up on this. And Jesse Braun from the Democrat socialist from the Indianapolis City County Council is our guest. All right. So in terms of your city county councilor hat, one of the things that the Republicans are trying to say in this bill is, we're actually cutting the amount of lit that's available. And look at us. We're actually cutting your local income tax. And one of the things we've said in response to that is that's misleading because now the city county councils across the county councils across the state, they're just fully going to exploit the local income tax options that are available where they previously weren't. Is that right?
That's right. And I think there are cases like, from what I've seen in Marion County, we're not going to be able to raise it in lit enough to make up for what we're losing. So there are cases where it really is going to maybe cut people's overall bill. And that's why people are saying average tax savings is a little bit. But in most of the counties across the state, that's coming right out of lit, which ironically, it's funny, I'm a socialist. That's a more progressive tax necessarily than property tax.
That's right, up your alley.
Right, yeah. So a little bit strange how they're doing that. But I think at the end of the day, one thing that I've seen most of the political spectrum united around is the way these last couple weeks have gone in the State House. And I think you posted the Nikki Kelly article this morning. No one understands how this works. It's hundreds and hundreds of pages of bills. We had SB 1 voted on a couple weeks ago before they had a fiscal statement out.
Yeah.
You can't pass good policy when you don't even understand all the levers that you're pulling at the same
Where
time.
are you on property taxes?
I mean, I'm a homeowner, so I definitely understand that property taxes have gone up. I live in 46218, which is the lowest life expectancy in the city. So I think my property taxes are like $300 a year. So, just move to my hood and then it'll be nice and cheap.
You'll be fine if you just live next to you. No, thank you.
But at the end of the day, I think that people deserve to know where their tax bill is going, what it's funding, and how much waste there is there. And even as a socialist, I'd be the first to say there is definitely waste and there's definitely a lack of transparency.
And I think this is the biggest thing where you and I agree wholeheartedly, which is how they're misleading people about this bill. Like, here's a great example, and then I'll let you get into this a little bit because you understand this, which is they came out and said, and Braun told me this in this meeting, like, we're eliminating that business personal property tax exemption. That was ridiculous. Okay, cool. So you walk out of there going, okay, well, at least they're doing that. Then you read the bill and you realize, well, they're elevating the exemption from $80,000 of exempted business personal property tax to $2 million. Well, unless you're Eli Lilly, basically everybody's going to be exempted, but technically they'll go, see, we didn't eliminate it, right? It's that double speak, Jesse, that you go, you're just lying to people.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and I'm with the group Democratic Socialists of America. We, broad-based group. Yeah, basically, you
guys like have lunches? How does that? You guys get together?
We had coffee this weekend. We did on Sunday. Yeah, we do pay dues. Yeah, but it's just a way for people to democratically talk about how we fight back against this thing. And so there's people who've been spending ridiculous amounts of time. Like, you would think we were insane looking at how much time we've spent discussing these bills.
Yeah.
And even among that small group, most of us are like, wait, what the heck's going on right now? I don't it's hard to keep up because things get pulled out of one bill, thrown into another. Things that have huge fiscal impact are just like thrown in with no public debate and no discussion. SB 518, which is a bill you and I might disagree with, but they had 9.5 hours of testimony about that in SB 1. But the entire testimony is predicated upon the fact that charter schools were still going to get, or they're going to have their grants cut from the state in an equal amount, so it was just moving property tax around. They changed that and didn't allow new testimony.
Sure.
So that's a pretty big impact on both charter and traditional schools.
Well, and they're closing school systems in this bill. And that's
right.
I think, as we talked about, Casey, said that's the thing. They're giving away things to people who they want their votes, and they're putting them all in this thing, which is just supposed to be about helping homeowners.
Well, like Jesse mentioned, it became all porked up at the end of the day.
Okay, Jesse, can the teachers, because we've tried, right? We had the rally. We had 1,000 people there. Braun looked at us and he said, I'm with you, blah, 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 and then went in the back room, and his new nickname as of today is Backroom Braun. Backroom Braun went in the back room and screwed us. Can you guys have more success today? Can the teachers succeed where we failed? And Jesse will back up. I am wearing my red I Hate Rob Kendall shirt.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to walk down and see things. Yes, later today. Can they do it today? Can they save it for everybody?
I think if teachers stand united, they can. And this is where I get to put my socialist propaganda on your radio show, so thank you for that opportunity. But because think about it, the teachers they actually were working all weekend to try to work with the administration and say, hey, we're going to be out on Monday, so you should plan ahead now. Until Sunday night, they didn't take that threat seriously. And now schools are closed and people are having to scramble. Parents don't like having to figure out childcare at the last second like this.
Should we be mad about that?
Yes, we should be mad about that.
Well, I kind of feel like abandoning the kids is not a great move. However, you're abandoning the kids for my cause this time, so I'm really torn, Casey.
If it went for your cause, though, you'd be railing
I would
on
be.
them.
But hey, I got to look out for myself for once, Casey. And I mean, people have a right to say, maybe that's not a great look to just leave the children without education.
Yeah,
right?
well, it's definitely not what the teachers want, and that's why they're doing this, right? Because the current estimate just in IPS alone is that 20 schools or more would have to close as a result of SB1.
Wow.
And so when you're closing schools, I mean, maybe they could go to a different township school. Maybe charters could expand enough to take them. But I don't know if anybody's had to try to move their kid between schools. It's a nightmare. All their friends are gone now. We think this will be a lot more painful for parents in the long run. So we'd rather have this one frustrating day to hopefully kill this bill and stop all that pain in the future.
All right. Before we let you go, Hogsett. You have been one of the few people who's had a pair of stones to say exactly what's going on with Joe Hogsett.
Where was he during the riots?
Yeah, do we know? Can you find out? Nobody will tell us.
I've heard some things. I don't know personally. I've actually never spoken on the phone with him or had a one-on-one meeting with Mayor Hogsett.
You've never talked to the mayor?
I've talked to him, but only in public.
I mean, yeah, like you've never called him up. He's never said, hey, I'd like your vote for something. None of that.
First time I asked to meet with him, he sent Thomas Cook to meet with me instead. So what's that tell you?
Okay, so are you guys going to be able to get to the bottom of, and like you've been railing about this investigation with Thomas Carl Cook and the alleged sexual impropriety and Hogsett allegedly covering it up. Like, it just seems like we're spending all this money. It's like, why can't the county council just get the answers to these things? Where are we at with this? You're the one guy that spoke some common sense about this.
Yeah, and I'm not on the investigative committee, so all my info is going to be a little bit out of date. But
you should have been.
I asked to be. I sent a message to all 24 counselors saying I was one of the very few who did not take any money from him or any of his associates. So I was neutral and impartial. What I was told is because I came out calling for him to resign, I couldn't possibly serve on this committee.
Geez.
And so I asked, for the January 6th committee, did they not put anybody on that committee who had already made a public statement about who was right or who was wrong? Yeah. Interesting how that double standard works.
Yeah.
But no, I think that we are going to get to the bottom of it. It's going to be a slower and more combative process than it should be. It should have just been, okay, cool, we'll open our books and let the chips fall where they may. Not only the mayor, but several high-ranking Democrats and even some Republicans didn't want that because they were afraid of who else would be implicated.
Jesse, have you ever spent any time in a socialist or communist country?
I have spent, so I always tell people this story. I was lucky enough to, and I'm still paying the loans for it, to go to Prague and the Czech Republic when I was in college, undergrad, right? And so when I was there...
You can get a loan to go to Prague?
If it's a student loan. It was a private loan, extra interest, so I'm kind of regretting it. But
you're really paying for it.
But
I'm just wondering, like, if you haven't experienced the oppression, how do you, what do you do when people don't take you seriously?
No, that's fair. So when I was in Prague, I met this older artist, Ivan Kralik, and he was talking to me about what he thought of as socialism, and this was kind of formative to my beliefs. And he talked about in 1968, when in Prague, they pushed for freedom of expression, free newspapers, ability to critique the government, and of course, the Soviet Union sent in tanks and kidnapped and tortured their leader as a result.
Right.
So he said, my version of socialism was throwing the Molotovs at those socialist tanks, or the Soviet tanks. So I'm very much a democratic socialist. I believe in freedom of expression. I don't believe in gulags. I don't believe in stifling debate or other opportunities to discuss. I think that the government can often be wrong because they're human beings and they need to be criticized in order to get better.
So here's what we're going to do. once Jesse and I go our separate ways after SB1, we're going to have Jesse back on, and maybe we'll just spend an hour talking about this. I think it'll be a fascinating conversation.
I think so, too.
I think it'll go a little differently than it has today.
Probably. But look, everybody's got to get along for now. Jesse Brown,
been very
you.
nice.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 306 this afternoon. We're announcing this year's Tales from the Track. We've got that big announcement and the biggest stories in Indy.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing for everyone on most new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Navigator MSRP $105,575, Nautilus MSRP $61,995, Corsair MSRP $47,820. Offers good through 4/30/2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Think of it as WIBC on 2x speed. Big opinions, great moments, and just enough chaos. The WIBC Mashup Podcast brings it all together in one fast, fun listen. New episode each weekday. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
Here are the ABCs of your phone, Rob Kendall.
Uh-oh.
Always be charging. You do that. You panic sometimes.
Do you go through chargers like we do? It seems like every month I need a new charger.
What's going on there? Why is that happening?
I don't know if it's the just moving them around.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like every month I have to buy a new 3-pack of chargers.
I know there are many mornings you come in here in a panic looking for a charger. You're like, where's Carl? Where's his charger? Where's Matt Bear's charger? And then you borrow him, and then you make sure to give him back, though,
I do.
which is nice.
I'm a returner of stuff. If I get something from you, I will give it back to you.
At what point do you start stressing that your battery's dying on your phone?
Oh, I'm like the guy. I'm like in the Austin Powers movie. I too like to live dangerously. I'm fine till about 4%.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You let it get down there pretty low.
I know my usage. I know how much I use. I know how long I can go. I'm generally pretty. I can. Yeah,
I feel like once it gets down that 5%, you can make that 5% last a long time,
Sure
unless you're watching videos.
Lower
then
the
it sucks it right
lower
out.
the light on your screen. Mm-hmm. It's like a lot of juice doing that.
So a new survey has revealed that most people worry when their charge hits 38%.
What?
Yeah, that seems pretty high, doesn't it?
Well, my grandmother used to do this, and my grandfather, where they would freak out if the gas tank ever got to 50%. They had to like make a special trip to the gas station to get gas if the gas was at 50%. And it was like you drive little golf carts. You have like 200 miles left. You're not you never venture outside of a 5-mile.
Where
radius.
are you going?
Yeah,
what do you need gas
you'll
for?
certainly be by a gas station.
So
same thing with the phone, it sounds like.
Age also plays a role in your phone battery life. Stress. Gen Z worries the earliest. That's no surprise. They start to get worried at 44%. Millennials at 43%. Gen X holds off until 38%. But it's the boomers that are the most chill about their battery on their phone. They don't start to worry until it hits 34%.
Wow.
Yeah. So what do you do? Do you prefer to see the exact percentage, or do you have just the little icon with the bar that starts to go down?
It's like an old school gas meter. That's why the way I'm like I'm living on the edge.
Yeah.
I mean, what's worse is going to happen? My phone's going to shut off, and it'll take 2 minutes for me to turn it back on.
61% of people prefer to see the exact percentage. 39 are okay with just the icon. I use the icon.
Hey, when we come back, this interview we did with Daniel Elliott, the state treasurer, on Friday has blown up about how the state is screwing you and these municipalities out of money to protect their banking buddies.
He was calling people out.
We got a huge update on this.
Okay. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a D-SNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Rob. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit. The savings don't stop there. Pay no interest until 2030, plus $500 off your home improvement project. Restrictions apply. Call 317-659-7574. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
It's the Bash Sale, the biggest automotive sale in history. Your local Bill Estes dealerships are coming in hot with deals on trucks you don't want to miss. We have a huge selection of trucks at one easy online stop. Brand new Chevy, Ford, GMC, Jeep, Ram, and Toyota trucks with a massive pre-owned selection too. Plus, our fair and direct upfront pricing means what you see is what you pay. Shift into savings during the Bash Sale, only at Bill Estes dealerships, and drive away in your dream truck today. Online at BillEstesTrucks.com.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
It's the strongest hearts that remind us to cherish the moments. It's the grandmas who made us sit up straighter, the grandpas who showed us old records, and the parents who were embarrassingly loud at our games. It's those hearts that are anything but ordinary. Caring for extraordinary hearts for decades, Franciscan Health knows heart care is more than just a name on a chart. It's somebody who shaped your whole life. Heal your heart today at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Technology Recyclers is the safe and ethical choice for your computer and electronics recycling. R2 certified, 100% landfill free, guaranteed destruction of data, and absolutely free pickups. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Weekday mornings at 7:15, the Tony Katz Popcorn Moment, brought to you by Boer Remodeling. Don't wait any longer for the kitchen you've been dreaming of. Request a consultation at boerremodeling.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what teachers hope to see changed at the State House, who Indiana's Governor Mike Braun is supposed to host in Indiana tomorrow, and someone in Martinsville is probably smiling today. You'll hear why. Those stories and more coming up after Fox News Radio. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
65 miles up. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. A 6-woman crew rides a Blue Origin rocket to the edge of space and back, blasting off from Texas.
5, 4, command engine start, 2, 1, ignition.
On board for the 11-minute round trip, Blue Origin company founder Jeff Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez, former rocket scientist Aisha Bowe, singer Katy Perry, TV host Gayle King, civil rights activist Amanda Nguyen, and the filmmaker Carrie Ann Flynn. It's the first all-woman crew in space since 1963. A Chief Executive Magazine survey of 300 CEOs finds 62% of them predict an economic slowdown or recession in the next 6 months. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett says there will be 100% not a recession caused by President Trump's new import tariffs, some delayed 90 days to allow time for more negotiations.
The president will decide when he's satisfied with a deal and when he wants to announce it and how many all at once, but I can tell you the progress has been astonishing.
Hassett on Fox Business. Russia's military says it was targeting a Ukrainian military officers meeting with 2 missiles in downtown Sumy, Ukraine. At least 34 people are reported killed, more than 100 injured. President Trump's asked about it on Air Force One.
I think it was terrible, and I was told they made a mistake, but I think it's a horrible thing.
The attack's being condemned by his special envoy to Ukraine, Keith Kellogg, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. A Harrisburg, Pennsylvania man turns himself into police and admits starting a fire at the official state governor's residence.
What police say this guy did, Cody Ballmer, literally walk up, climb over that 7-foot fence, goes up to the window, smashes it out with a hammer, throws at least 2 Molotov cocktails inside, watches it burn, then runs away. So the question is, why did this 38-year-old suspect attack and target the governor's house? He told authorities it's because he has a deep hatred for Governor Josh Shapiro.
Fox's Alexis McAdams. Charges include attempted murder, terrorism, aggravated arson. The Shapiros were home at the time and got out unheard. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's a discussion they hope leads to results. You've got a cloudy sky, and it's 64 degrees on Monument Circle. 72 is the high this afternoon. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. You'll be seeing lots of red if you're near the Indiana State House today.
And why is this day important to you?
This day is important because they're trying to pass it's not House Bill, it's Senate Bill 1, where they're trying to take taxpayer money away from public education. Public education is the only tool some of our students have.
That's WIBC's Ryan Hedrick speaking to a teacher named Connor Lopp, who's wearing a red shirt like many of her colleagues on this day of action for teachers. She says if this legislation is passed, then it would close down about 20 schools. Chris Davis reports on concerns that income taxes would be raised to make up for property tax losses.
The bill has its
supporters like Governor Braun so far, and also Senate President pro tempore Rod Bray, who says he believes it will likely pass as is with no further negotiations. Paul Helmke is a former mayor of Fort Wayne and is now with the IU O'Neill School of Political and Environmental Affairs. He says passage as is likely means income taxes will go up.
Local units are basically at their maximum. They've done everything they can to get the revenue they need to take care of our schools, to pay for our firefighters and police officers. So there's not a lot of wiggle room.
On Wish TV's All Indiana Politics, Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the vote on the property tax bill could happen today in the Senate. Indiana's Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith has called the bill a bad one, and he wants Governor Mike Braun to veto it. Braun is also hosting Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. tomorrow. Braun's holding a news conference at 11 a.m. at the Indiana State Library to introduce his Make Indiana Healthy Again plan. A Powerball player in the Hoosier State is a winner. A ticket sold at a Murphy USA in Martinsville matched 4 out of 5 numbers in Saturday night's drawing, which makes it a $50,000 winner. So if you are the lucky one, you should call Hoosier Lottery customer service to claim your prize. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 10:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
There sure are a lot of memories in that house. It's where you celebrated years of anniversaries and birthdays, where you watched the kids grow, where you relaxed in your retirement. You love it right down to the scuff on the dining room floor and that sticky window in the bedroom. But now the stairs are getting harder, the lawn, the cleaning, the repairs, it's just too much to keep up. And you know it's probably time to downsize. But the thought of getting the house ready to sell is overwhelming. It's time to learn about Simple Quarters. They'll buy your house as is. No repairs, no worries. They handle everything. You take what you want, and you leave the rest. They're a Christian company, so they understand the emotional ties, and they'll be respectful of your memories and feelings as they help you simplify your life. If you're considering downsizing and want a hassle-free way to sell your home, call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME, or go to simplequarters.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Dammon's Garden Center West on Rockville Road.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
You know, it is amazing, Casey.
What's that, Rob?
I was pondering this over the weekend. Our elected people in this state somehow, and this is an incredible feat, somehow managed to get scummier by the year.
Well, do we blame that on them, or we blame it on us for voting for them?
And there's more of them. Like, it grows in numbers. Like, not only do they get worse, there become more of them that are worse.
So over the weekend, the story coming out of the treasurer's office just grew and grew and grew.
So Daniel Elliott is the state treasurer. We broke this story on Friday on our show, where he came in and he said, hey, a couple months ago, Daniel Elliott, when the property tax debate started in earnest, he said, hey, as the state treasurer, I think I have a way to help everybody, which is if we can put more money in the hands of local governments through the money that they invest, because local governments take in, everybody knows, this has come out in this hearing, far more money than they can spend.
Yeah.
That's why the whole hurt kids or hurt public safety or whatever is so ridiculous. But they do have to do something with that money. And as it sits right now, most local governments are very restricted in how they can invest their money, which gets them less of a return. And what Daniel Elliott, the state treasurer, had said was, hey, I run this program called Trust Indiana. I invest the state's money. I have been very successful. I think he said he's made $1 billion over the last couple of years.
6 years, I believe he said.
And he said, I would like to allow our municipalities the freedom to help us help them invest their money with less restrictions the way we do. And then if they make more money than you, the legislature can cut more property taxes because they'll be making this money on interest on the money they already have.
Right.
Seems like a very noble cause, to steal a famous phrase from the former governor, who, while a complete scumbag himself, was at least honest with us about what he was doing. And unlike backroom Braun, did not did not stab us in the back. He just stabbed us right between the eyes while looking at us. And then there was seemingly no traction on this bill. And we thought, well, that's really weird because here's a guy in Daniel Elliott who has been very successful doing this. He's, by all accounts, a great guy, totally above board, really liked in the State House. Why wouldn't they take him up on this offer? Well, I think he was kind of wondering the same thing. And then all of a sudden he gets notice from Travis Holdman, who you may remember is the guy who, air quote, wrote Senate Bill 1, which they never had any intention of passing, and then quickly gutted his own bill with the bill resets because he claimed to be so concerned about the poor singing orphans of local government and the public safety and the children and blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, not only am I not going to let you enact this plan, I'm now going to put restrictions around how you run Trust Indiana. And those restrictions were putting a bunch of bankers on a board that oversee Daniel Elliott.
Right. So they want this board to have more control over the local government's investment funds. They say that they need more oversight in the $3.4 billion pot of money.
Okay, so Travis Holdman, I believe, is a consultant for the banking industry. I believe that's how he earns his money. So much like with Scott Baldwin, who runs a company called Senator Scott Baldwin from Hamilton County, who runs a company called Envoy, construction management company, which makes huge money off of local government construction projects paid for with property tax dollars. Travis Holdman earns his living in part off helping bankers and appears to be helping bankers at the expense of you, the taxpayer, and at the expense of the municipality. So Indy Star then did and this is super fascinating. So Indy Star did a big expose on this that just came out. Kayla Dwyer did the piece. And what's interesting is they spoke to, and I want to get this lady's title right because this piece literally just came out. So I'm trying to, Amber Van Til is her name.
She's the president of the Indiana Bankers Association.
Okay, so yeah, very unbiased person, right? So and she's giving all these quotes about what's going on. And there are a couple things that she said that are very interesting. I'm going to read you from the Indy Star, okay? She also said her association has been talking with legislators for months. For months, they have been doing this. And then the article goes on to say, because Daniel Elliott said he had no idea this was going on, right? And then it goes on to say, and also gave the treasurer's office notice at the start of session that they might request these changes. So I asked Daniel Elliott directly. I said, Daniel, did you actually get notice? And Daniel said I could read this, no problem.
Okay.
Daniel, did you actually get notice she said she gave you in the article? His quote, absolutely not in all exclamation points.
Wow. Well, she said that his office has had ample time to discuss this issue with leadership. Ample time. And so the state treasurer is saying, no, that's not true.
Yeah. So either they told you or they didn't. He seems pretty adamant that they didn't. And why would you do this? What he's doing is working. It's not like there's some calamity going on with the Trust Indiana plan. What they're mad about is you have an outside guy in Daniel Elliott who has come in and said, I'm not beholden to anyone. I won my race at the convention to be the state treasurer, running as an outsider, and I'm going to serve the people of the state of Indiana rather than the insiders in the banking industry. And what Travis Holdman and what Holdman's doing that is really dirty is he's tucking it in the budget.
Yeah.
Because he knows it won't pass on its own. And so he's tucking it in the budget so that he believes it has to, as Daniel Elliott laid out for us, that he's tucking it in the budget, and then that way they have to pass a budget. And Braun, of course, doesn't even have the stones to help with property tax. He's certainly not have the stones to veto a budget. And so he knows, I'll just ram this thing through and I'll help all my banking buddies, and you, the taxpayers, can kiss both of my butt cheeks.
Okay, so Rod Bray said that this isn't a knock on Elliott's job. And he's referred that other states have boards overseeing their investment pools. So it's like, we're going to do what they're doing.
You're doing a wonderful job, but kiss our ass. We're going to make it harder for you to do this wonderful job you're doing.
And here's the thing. Rod Bray said that there's still room for negotiation on this. Aren't they voting on the budget next week?
Well, I mean, they're running out of time. So one would think whatever that negotiation is going to... I mean, look, what is the negotiation? The plan is working. The plan is making Hoosiers money. We would like for the local governments to make more money. The only thing standing in the way of this happening is the fact that the banking industry in this state wants to keep their vice grip on how their ability to do business, and they depend on the legislature to rig the system to allow them to do that.
So who's going to be on this board that's going to oversee everything? Well, the board will include Daniel Elliott, the state treasurer, also the director of the Indiana Department of Financial Institutions, and 3 bank executives that are appointed by the governor.
And here's what's really interesting, and this is, again, directly from Indy Star. In 2024, Bank PAC gave nearly $300,000 to state candidates, including $25,000 to Braun and $15,000 to each of the General Assembly's leaders. Probably because they're running a soup kitchen, right?
Right. Exactly. Isn't that something?
It's like that car dealer that gave all the money to Diego. Probably just because he just thinks Diego's just the most swimming, amazing, articulate, honest person who's ever walked into the State House.
Yeah. So Daniel Elliott said that he's going to keep pushing back, and he has acknowledged that the final state budget will be settled in the final hours of the legislative session. The final hours, Rob.
I want to read one more quote. What is her name? Van Til, right? Amber Van Til, and she's the She's the president and CEO of
Bankers Association.
The Bankers Association. Is that right? Okay. So here's her quote. As is often the case, it was the product of months of discussion and stakeholder input. Who are the stakeholders?
Right.
Daniel Elliott is the stakeholder.
Yeah.
He's the guy who runs the thing, and he's saying, no one said anything to me. So who are the stakeholders?
The bankers.
Certainly not the taxpayers,
right,
because he's our representative. So once again, just like with Senate Bill 1, this is the same thing going on right now with property taxes. You know who loves the new property tax bill? The Chamber of Commerce. You know who's the one group in favor of the property tax bill? The Chamber of Commerce. Why? Because they raised that business personal property tax exemption from $80,000 to $2 million. The Chamber loves the new property tax bill. They're it. We hate it. The left hates it. The right hates it. The people who love it, the big business people. And that's how this works in this state. You get screwed over and over and over and over again, and these special interests always get out ahead at your expense.
Hey, let's talk about the state budget for just a second, since
to?
It's on the same topic. You want to guess how much it is? The balanced budget proposal?
Well, the House proposed 46.7. The Senate is usually worse than the House. And I know they're worse because I know they've stripped out the universal school choice.
Yep.
They've taken a bunch of the things that were decent in the House budget, and they're gone. I'll say it's higher. I'll say 40, but let's see. But that'd be point 2 would be 200 million. I will say 46.9 billion.
You're so close. It's 46.8.
Oh, I was 100 million off. That's pretty high, though. No, that's pretty good, actually.
$46.8 billion.
So keep in mind, that's about a $2.8-ish billion increase in the new budget. So $2.8 billion, and there's no money to actually help you with property taxes.
So the budget includes a projected surplus of $716 million for next year and $245 million for the following year, pushing reserves over $3 billion.
All right, let's take a break. What are we doing next? What's going on?
Let's talk about that rocket ship, can we? Your girl's in space
Katie,
right now.
Did she get left up there?
No, I think she went up. Is she back down?
Well,
Katy Perry in space.
That's been a conversation. Never mind. Anyway.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Life moves fast.
Another new directive from Donald Trump.
President Trump will not be deterred to make our federal government more efficient.
So does the news.
We expect those meetings to take place very soon.
Decisions made today.
I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic.
No threats to national security.
Could impact you tomorrow.
Accountability and transparency.
What's next?
You never know what's going to happen.
Need to know what happened.
We're already tracking it. Stay in the know while you're on the go on 93 WIBC.
Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity is up. Now is the best time in years to sell your home. However, some homes are sitting on the market. Hire an expert who can maximize equity and minimize hassle is the key. That expert agent I recommend to sell your home is our buddy Mark Dietl. Perhaps you're worried you need to sell your home, but you want to do it without costly repairs or upgrades. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Andrew in downtown Noblesville had to say about working with Mark Dietel. Lisa recently retired. Our goal was to sell our home of 30 years, buy an RV, and spend summers traveling to Montana and winters in Arizona. Mark Dietel's team made it happen fast. We were under contract in 3 days, over asking price, with no contingencies. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. It's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their large selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon, along with the Big Green Egg.
She went to space, Rob.
Oh.
Katy Perry, part of that Blue Origin's all-female celebrity space flight. So it was Katy Perry, Lauren Sanchez, who is Jeff Bezos' fiance, Gayle King, and then some other women. There was actually a NASA engineer with them, and also a planetary scientist was there, and they had a film producer as well. But they
had to bring a NASA engineer with them because they wouldn't let the women go by themselves.
Well, I don't know why. They didn't have to do anything. It's not like they were actually steering the rocket or had to turn it around. They just went up and came back down. It was a 10-minute suborbital flight. They went about 65 miles into space.
Katy Perry is not aging well.
You don't think so?
Well, it's a little rough.
Okay.
I mean, wasn't she with Russell Brand for a while?
That'll do it to you, right?
Wasn't she with the Machine Gun Kelly guy?
Mm-hmm.
Weren't they a thing?
Mm-hmm.
And now she's shot at a shorty with Orlando Bloom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm entitled to. You can like change your mind over time, right? You're not obligated to see somebody at 40 the way you did at 30, right? I mean,
people do age,
right? No, I'm not entitled to feel the same way about people. I mean, maybe the music wasn't all that great after all, Casey.
Wait, what?
Maybe I was highly misled.
Are you saying that Katy Perry did not sing one of the 10 greatest songs of all time?
No. I'm saying Teenage Dream is still one of the 10 greatest songs of all time. I'm just saying, like, maybe Firework wasn't the lyrical masterpiece that I
that you thought it was.
Maybe her bosom got the better of me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was manipulated.
It was a fully automated flight. They had
I thought you were talking about her bosom.
No, I'm still talking about their trip to space, Rob.
Oh, very good. Go
No
on.
pilot on board. First all-female U.S. spaceflight crew, and it launches 2 months before Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos they get married.
Why is this a thing?
What? Why are they doing it?
Yeah, like what's the point?
Space tourism, right? What do we do when we want to promote products?
Uh-huh.
We put a pretty woman out there
Sure.
in front and say, buy this, right?
Well, but
isn't this the same thing?
I mean, but Katy Perry's looking a little haggard. Jeff Bezos' wife or fiance, I mean, she's not, I mean, she's fine.
I don't know. She got Zuckerberg's attention at the inauguration.
Well, because she stuck him out there. But it's not like that's that great. I mean, she was basically a Jersey chaser who then started chasing a guy with even more money.
Right.
I mean, she's not.
He's got a big wallet.
Back me up, Kev. Lauren Sanchez is not that. I mean, Bezos could do better than her.
Yeah, I think he probably could.
I mean, you're the rich. Is he the richest guy or is it Musk?
It's
Whatever.
Musk.
1A, 1B. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
right? You get
Well, maybe he's with her for the sparkling conversation.
Gail King. That's Oprah's friend, right?
Mhm.
The Oprah,
Right.
As Rush used to call her. And then who else? Who else was on this flight?
You had a NASA scientist and a film producer was also.
Right. Where's the pretty woman? That's my question, though. Like, what are we if we're selling the women?
Mhm.
Like, who? Where
Which one is the pretty woman?
I mean, like if you had. I don't even know who are the people. Sweeney, right? Sydney Sweeney, isn't that a person?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
a thing,
correct.
right? She's the one that everybody's like. If she were on the flight, okay. But I just
Mhm.
don't. Do any of these people move the needle? Or are you like, oh my gosh, Katie?
Well, don't you think they put Gail King up there so she can talk about it?
Well, it's because she's Oprah's friend, right?
Right, on TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Katy, like, does Katy Perry have some sort of
She'll
huge?
write a song about it.
Okay, if Katy Perry played Gainbridge Fieldhouse right now, could she sell a Gainbridge Fieldhouse?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
No kidding.
Definitely.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
So Blue Origin has now flown 58 people into space, including William Shatner.
But they just go up and go down.
Correct.
There's no actual space exploration.
Right.
It's not as though they're headed to Mars as we speak.
Right. So the whole point of this is just to what? Promote the tourism side. This is like the Titan, the submersible.
Uh-huh.
This is what rich people are doing now with
I mean, I
their
don't mean to
money.
be crass, but if you just keep doing this for fun, like space exploration is spread out because it's pretty dangerous, right? Like, think about all the problems space exploration has had. If you keep just shooting people up into orbit, eventually it's not. I mean, I'm not trying to be crass by saying this, but the reality is, it's one of these is not going to go well.
Yeah.
I mean, you're firing some large thing up into space. That's not like
The safest thing to do? No,
Right.
correct. Katy Perry tweeted out, "I love you," before they took off.
like me.
Well, everybody.
Oh, everyone. She loves everyone.
You and all her followers. I love you. I'm going to space. Be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, because it's a very short trip, right?
So maybe if they had Paige, what's her name? Spiranac?
Spiranac.
Yeah,
That's
up
who
there.
you should put Sydney Sweeney, Paige Spiranac, Livy Dunn.
Uh-huh.
Now people are paying attention.
Okay.
Or that basketball player that was on the Sports Illustrated,
Mhm.
the swimsuit chick, Livy, whatever her name is.
Another Livy?
Yeah, Livy Van, whatever. Kev, look that up. You know, the blonde girl.
Yeah.
That was.
Kev, type into your computer "hot chick" on Sports
I
Illustrated.
think it's Livy.
cover.
It's Libby something. I think.
Livy Van.
Thank you.
No, actually, I got the wrong person. Is it?
Yes, I think that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to look into this a little more.
Yeah, sure you are.
Well, yeah, I could do it right now. Casey filibuster. I'll look this up.
Well, I bring up Paige Spiranac because I wanted to talk about the Masters. Rory McIlroy, he won his first green
Hang on,
jacket
I really
yesterday.
need to weigh into this. Blonde.
Oh, is it Haley Van Lith?
No, Cameron. Maybe it's Cameron Brink. Is that right? No.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Who is this chick that was just that all the people were posting the photos that she was on some digital Sports Illustrated?
I think it's Haley Van Lith.
Thank you. That's what I said from the beginning. Yes, there it is. There she is.
Yeah, Haley
Why did
Van
you
Lith.
talk- why did
you
you-
said Livy, somebody.
Yeah, you said Livy. You
Well,
had
I
the
mean-
Van part correct.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was half right. You knew who I was talking about.
So you're saying put her on the Blue
Well, I'm
Origin.
just saying any of these people. Like, why did we pick these old women that nobody cares about?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to garner some social media
Because
attention.
it was Lauren Sanchez and probably all of her BFFs.
Oh, she's probably friends with those people.
Well,
That's
I mean,
the
it's
point.
it's her fiance's rocket,
That's true.
right? And she's like, me and my girls want to go on a trip. You know,
That's fair
normally they just take the private jet and go to Vegas or something.
Yeah, there you
right?
go. Okay, very good.
But
All right.
instead, she's like, hey, girls, take Monday off. We're gonna go to space.
The Masters. That
Mhm.
was I had at one point one of the greatest accomplishments in the history of sports betting going.
Yeah, you had all of them correct.
I had 1, 2, and
until
3
the end.
for the whole day, and I told my old man. We sat there and watched it. I said, you watch by the end of this thing with like 5 or 6 holes to go. I had 1, 2, and 3 on the board, and I said, you watch. Somehow I will not win this bet, and gosh darn it, Casey, I almost did not win the bet. That was one of the most entertaining. I didn't even care if I lost the bet at that point because I would have seen the greatest. We almost saw the greatest collapse in the history of golf with a player of Rory McIlroy's caliber with that big of a lead, and he blew it. Somebody posted this, and I retweeted it. You know the gif of Shane Gillis with the gun?
Yeah.
What's the name of that show that he had? What's the name? The Gillis show, where he's got the gun. The key.
Isn't it called Tires?
I don't know. I'm asking you. Don't you watch this guy?
Oh, Gillian Keys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
there
it.
it is. You're supposed to be. You have one job, Kevin, and that is to be up on the things happening in modern
Well, he's
society.
got multiple shows.
Oh, he does?
Well, he's got a couple at least.
So what's the name of it?
And
It's
a Bud
called-
Light commercial.
The one you're thinking of is called Gillian Keys.
Yeah, Gillian Keys. So he's got this. Shane Gillis is a comedian. He's probably the most. Is he most famous comedian right now?
Probably.
He's like the hip guy.
Top tier.
And there's this thing of him with a gun, and there's people he's holding hostage. And I'm sure you've seen the GIF where he puts the gun in his mouth, and everybody gasps, and then he puts it towards his chest, and everybody gasps, and he turns the gun back around on them. That was McElroy yesterday. It was amazing. He lost. He had a 4-shot lead on 13. Hit one of the worst shots I've ever seen a professional hit. Much less the best or second best golfer in the world hit. Blew the lead, got it back, blew it again, got it back, blew it on the last hole.
Yep.
And then finally won in a playoff. It was the most amazing thing I think I've ever seen in the history of golf.
First player to win the Masters with 4 double bogeys. It was his 17th Masters appearance, but apparently he was not talking at all to Bryson.
So he played yesterday with Bryson DeChambeau, who is basically like Fred Flintstone playing golf. And he's the guy that everybody loves because he's wacky and he hits the ball a million miles and he's fist bumping everybody. And he's like super chatty a lot of the times on the course. And so they asked DeChambeau at the end of the round, who didn't play well yesterday, by the way, what it was like to play with McElman.
Did you speak to him in there? How's he doing? Do you know?
No idea. Didn't talk to me once all day.
Did you try and initiate conversation with Rory at all?
He wouldn't talk to me.
And I told you, I sent this to you, and I said, that's kind of a jerk move.
I don't know. I think McElroy, he was in the zone, man. That's what it took for him to win. You got to do what you got to do to get the job done. He had a $4.2 million payoff waiting for him. And if that meant that he wasn't going to talk to Bryson, then that's what he had to do.
Look, money means nothing to me, Casey. I've blown opportunities at money numerous times.
He's been to
based
the
on
Masters
having a
17
voice.
times. He finally won. And I'm sorry, but if you got to zip it for a few hours, then that's what you got to do.
You know me, Casey. Nothing means more to me than my fellow man, and I think you got to have a little bit of kindness towards your fellow man out there. I mean, the knock on McElroy is he's a jerk. I mean, he comes off as the traditional, villainous Caddyshack type character, and that really feeds the narrative of, hey, some guy out there who's beloved by the fans wants to be friendly with you, and you're just basically like, nope,
he
not
don't
happening.
care. You know why? Because he's got $4.2 million now and a green jacket.
And in all seriousness, he did complete the career Grand Slam. There are only 6 people in the history of golf to ever do that. Tiger Woods was the last one 25 years ago to do it. It was a historic occasion. It was. I mean, I watch the Masters every year. I've been watching, since I was a little kid, so 35 years or more. This may have been the most entertaining Masters ever when you see the upper echelon of players that were involved and the roller coaster and the changes and the shots, good and bad. This will go down as one of the best Masters ever.
We've got your voicemails coming up. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hey, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing. Lance Smith joins me right now. No, we're not related, but I'd be proud to call him my son, my uncle, my cousin, whatever. Lance, welcome to the studio.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, sump pumps, they're coming up. You guys, it's probably time to get your sump pump special. You brag on this every year.
Yep, it's a real deal. Free primary sump pump with the purchase of a battery backup system. Simple as that. No hidden labor fees or anything like that. 317-927-7186 or ldsmithplumbing.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're asking questions. Will they get the answers? 65 degrees and partly cloudy on Monument Circle, and your radar is all clear. I'm John Herrick. This report is brought to you by Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Hundreds of teachers began filling into the Indiana State House this morning, many of them upset with the current property tax bill known as Senate Bill 1.
If Senate Bill 1 passes, what do you fear will happen?
Well, the schools that are already strapped for cash will just be even more so, and more programs cut. And they'll need more donations from families. It's going to affect the lower income the most. So it's just ridiculous, and we're here to try to stop it.
That's Ryan Hedrick speaking to a parent named Greg. Opening remarks from the Indiana State Teachers Association president Keith Gamble got started a few moments ago. The oldest remaining American survivor of the attack on Pearl Harbor has died at the age of 106. An obituary says Vaughn P. Drake Jr. died in Kentucky a week ago. He was 23 years old when the attack happened. And the all-female crew of celebrities that we told you about last hour that was heading to the edge of space is now back on Earth. Organizers of this event calling it a history-making flight since the last all-female crew involved a Russian cosmonaut who became the first woman in space on a solo mission back in 1963. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Spring showers might bring flowers, but they can also bring roof leaks. Strong winds, heavy rain can expose hidden damage, leading to costly water issues inside your home. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Water can seep into your attic, walls, and insulation, causing mold, rot, and expensive structural damage. The good news? Moss Roofing. They offer free inspections. Whether it's a small leak or a big roofing concern, their expert team will assess the damage and provide reliable, cost-effective solutions. With over 35 years of experience, Moss Roofing knows how to protect your home from the unpredictable spring weather. Don't wait for a minor drip to turn into a major repair. For top-notch roofing services, trust Moss Roofing to keep you dry this spring. For a job done right every single time, visit mossroofing.com. Call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or go online to Moss Roofing. MOSS, mossroofing.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, our politicians are letting us down left and right, and one place we've never been let down is Life Church. We love Life Church. They're the place we call home, and it is Easter week. That's right. So this Easter Sunday, you're feeling called to something different. New church home, first church home. Check out the place we call home, Life Church. The sense of community there is outstanding. They'd love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family. So many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church over the years. Campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, Pendleton, and they got great online services. Learn more about everything on the web, lifechurchin.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Damon's Garden Company South has trees, shrubs, vegetables, flowers, hanging baskets, plus garden and landscape supplies and knowledgeable staff. Damon South on Emerson Avenue.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
317-684-8444. That is the phone number if you'd like to contribute your questions, comments, or smart remarks in voicemails with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. This first phone call is in regards to Micah Beckwith and his statement over the weekend to veto SB1.
Hey, good morning, guys. I heard the interview on the Hammer and Nigel show with Micah Beckwith, and it was disgusting. I can't believe what I got out of it was, oh, this process is going to take years to get done. Oh, we'll do a little bit now and we'll do a little bit next year. No, BS. My BS meter was going off big time.
Okay, so they came out with new language to say cut cap reform in regards to SB1, and that was on Friday when Micah joined Hammer and Nigel, and then on Saturday he tweeted out that Governor Braun should veto that bill.
I think Micah is a very well-meaning person. I think he because he's a very positive person by his nature, wants to see the best in people. And I think this past few days were a big eye-opening experience of what a bunch of liars around him and how he was misled about Senate Bill 1 by the governor and other people. And I think he finally, I think he wanted to fight seeing the obvious, which is that the governor has no plan. He lied to everyone. He does not care. He's washing his hands of it. There is no plan, and they're done with it. And I think Micah, just because of his inherently good nature, wanted to see the best and wanted to believe there was some sort of plan. And then I think after he had his team look through it, and then he tried to put a good foot forward on it, and finally just heard such outrage from the people that he said, I can't cover for something that I believe to be false, and he did the right thing. And I hope it's an eye-opening thing for Micah to realize everyone hates you in there. Everyone hates you in that building, Micah. They're trying to take you out. Wake up and start acting accordingly. Don't take anybody's word for anything in there, because it's a den of thieves and snakes.
There is quite the line right now into the State House for the Teachers Red for Ed rally, which is today, and they're being joined by a lot of conservatives who are also protesting the property tax plan. Isn't that something?
Well, what was
nobody likes this bill.
The Tea Party group sent out a thing basically saying that exact same thing. There's an organization of Tea Party people in the state of Indiana. Oh, yeah, here it is. Our friend Monica Boyer sent this out. Coalition of Central Indiana Tea Parties calls on Governor Braun to veto Senate Bill 1 and convene special session for real property tax reform. Coalition of Central Indiana Tea Parties has voted to oppose Indiana Senate Bill 1. So you've got the angry red-shirted teachers and the Tea Party people. That's how bad what Thompson is coming. And here's the thing about Thompson. Why are we giving him another shot? He had 3 years ago, he told us he was going to fix this issue, and nothing changed. Why do we keep giving this guy, who's supposedly the smartest guy in the State House, another chance, which he's going to even screw it up even worse? I don't understand why we keep giving this guy opportunities to ruin our lives.
Well, he's been trying to get all of that language into some sort of bill for over a year now, and he was like, this is my shot. Let's go for it.
So, by the way, we've got the Front Porch Patriots thing tonight.
Yeah, we do.
6:30. We got to go to the nice people's house and speak.
That should be something. I wonder, gosh, what do you think we're going to talk about, Rob?
They timed it up perfectly, didn't they?
Yeah, good for them. Here's another phone call, this one about Trucker John and his disappointment in his party.
I'm at a bit of a crossroads here, actually. I'm 41 years old. I voted Republican pretty much most of my adult life. Didn't really get too political in 2008. The one time I voted Democrat, I wasn't really involved or paying attention. I kind of went with the feelings and voted for Obama in the primary in Indiana. But between the primary and the general, I started looking things up and, looking into things. And I ended up coming back around, and I pretty much voted Republican or Libertarian when they actually do something right. Basically what I'm saying is, at this point, I feel like all I can do is vote Democrat down the line, because the Libertarians are never going to get it, and the Republicans are never going to clean up their act, and I feel like they need a wake-up call. I don't want to vote Democrat, but I feel like I have to at this point.
A lot of people saying the same thing.
Oh, yeah. There should be an organized effort for everybody to vote Democrat in the next election. And part of the problem is, here's what the Republicans realistically recognize. As long as they keep their corporate masters happy, because the corporate masters have money and they have influence and they have the ability to run people. The Republicans recognize that there's 100+ Republicans who will be running between the House and Senate. Can't get them all. I had a long conversation with somebody about this on Friday, who's trying to figure out what the next steps are. And I said, this is the way they view it. You're not going to get all of us. Let's say you get 10. Oh, so we still have 90 or 95 Republicans? Oh, well, that's too bad. And they went to Braun, and they told Braun how it was going to be, and they told Braun what was going to happen if he didn't get on board. And it takes a really tough person to stand up to these people, and it takes a person who actually doesn't care. This is why we're dangerous to them. We don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I've been a radio guy my whole life. This is what I do. It's all I want to do. I don't want to work with them. I don't want to be a politician again. I don't, I'm fine being poor. Like, there's no, this is it. This is the thing. And so in terms of they depend on leverage over people.
Right.
That is how they operate in that building. They have leverage over you. And until there's enough people like Andrew Ireland and Craig Haggard and Ethan Manning who are willing to say, I don't care about your leverage, I'm out of here, see ya.
Well, Andrew Ireland said that he's going to vote what he believes in, even if that means he's just one term.
Now think about the irony of this, too. The same people who, if they vote for Senate Bill 1, will be the people who initially gutted Senate Bill 1 because they claim to be concerned about the teachers and the public safety. And the teachers are down there today begging them, saying, you're going to really hurt us if you pass the Senate Bill 1, which will just prove they didn't really ever care about the teachers. They didn't really ever care about the public safety. They're just doing whatever their masters in the Senate and their corporate masters tell them to do.
I think more people would vote Democrat if they would just be normal.
That's right. You're 100%. If they
so many people, I'm sick of these Republicans and their predatory behavior, but man, those Democrats with their woke indoctrination, I don't know.
If the Democrats could somehow find a way
they would just be moderate
to say, we're not going to demand abortion factories on every corner, and we're not going to stand up and try to normalize men who want to chop off their penises and pretend they're women, or men trying to go in the women's restrooms, they really would have a shot. But I don't think they're capable of doing that.
Hey, Kevin, let's skip ahead to the one titled Braun. And this is somebody expressing their disappointment.
Hi, Kendall and Casey. Enjoy your show. Still pretty disappointed. Just wanted to call and let Governor Braun know. Just wanted to thank him for slapping all of us back into reality, because I'm sure he's really proud of himself that he really got run over. But in reality, we should have known better. But he taught us a valuable lesson I hope we never forget. Thanks for all you guys do.
You trusted us.
You've made a very, very powerful enemy, which is a neurotic guy with OCD. And that, I don't know if you know anything about OCD and how it works. Once you get on something, you don't really get off of it. Hey, before we go to a break, we did make a big announcement to start the show, and maybe this would be a good time to remind everybody. Braun has a new name. It's Backroom Braun, because he cut the backroom deal behind closed doors that screwed all of us. And Braun has a new theme song.
Yeah.
And so, Kev, maybe you could cue up our Braun theme song. Since Braun is the snake that lied to us, and we foolishly believed him, and we helped Braun win, and we cuddled Braun, and we propped him up, and even though when he he just is a horrible public speaker and did a horrible job at his State of the State, and we kept going, there, you'll be fine, it'll be great, keep going. Then he ultimately bit us. I decided Braun's official theme song, anytime we talk about Braun, will be the great Al Wilson song, The Snake. And this is the end of the song, The Snake, where the snake is talking to the woman who loved him, why he bit the woman and is going to cause her to die. And this is Braun, and this is us.
I saved you, cried that a woman, and you bit me even a while. And you know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm gonna die. Oh, shut up, silly woman.
That's Braun.
Say that a reptile with a grin. Now you knew darn well I was a snake before you brought me in. Please take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, tender woman. Sighed the snake.
And real quick, I know we got to go to Hammer, but Braun and your people, because I know you'll hear this. If you thought 4 years or 8 years of me with Holcomb was bad.
Oh, boy. Here's the deal. When a snake bites you, you don't go up to the snake and argue with it. Why did you bite me? No, you walk away.
Well, actually, what you do with the snake is you take a giant. My grandma used to do this.
A hoe?
Garden hoe, and you just smash that snake, and you keep smashing it, and you keep smashing it, and you keep smashing it until it doesn't exist anymore.
No longer a snake.
So you guys chose your path. You screwed everybody. You screwed me. You lied to everybody. So I hope serving your corporate masters and lying to millions of people is worth it, because it's going to be a long 4 years for you guys.
Hammer's up next on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show 306. This afternoon, we're announcing this year's Tales from the Track. We've got that big announcement and the biggest stories in Indy.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. Family owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. Sure, Braun's screwing you over, but you can save some money and get some of that tax increase you're likely to have back with Universal Windows Direct's Spring Home Improvement event. And right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free. Need 4, you pay for 2. Need 12, you pay for 6. You get the message. All right, also, no interest until 2030. That's right, 6 years, no interest. And last, but certainly not least, get a $500 bonus off your entire home improvement project. So buy 2, get 2 free, no interest until 2030, and $500 off your home improvement project. All right now with Universal Windows Direct's Spring Home Improvement event. So could be the thing for you to find out, to get all the information. Some restrictions may apply, and most importantly, schedule your totally free in-home estimate. Call Universal Windows Direct today, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. See them on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and 1-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market. Even in winter, we're bringing you the best in farm fresh flavors. Stop in for our fresh salad bar, hot and crispy wing bar, and a cheese selection that is second to none. Got a sweet tooth? Our homemade pies, creamy fudge, and old-fashioned candy will hit the spot. Come see us on US 31 just north of Carmel. We're open every day 9 to 6. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about fresh, local, and delicious. See you soon.
Addiction doesn't just affect one person, it touches everyone around them. That's why Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick created the Supporting Sobriety podcast. It's for the friends and family standing behind, offering hope, guidance, and real talk. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Left me here stranded like a dog out in the yard.
That's us. Braun screwed us just like the chick screwed the guy in this song. Anyway, hi, I'm Rob. That's Casey. That's Hammer. Hello.
I've got my red shirt on today.
You do. Thank you.
Angry red-shirted Hammer in studio with you guys.
Well, he lied to you, too.
So, hey, before we let you do your victory lap on the Masters, which you broke down perfectly on the Degenerates Next Door podcast, what'd you think of the chat we had with the Lieutenant Governor on Friday?
Well, what I thought was interesting, so I watched it in real time, and I just sort of stared at it with my mouth open, and I think your audience did much the same, and I think to Micah's credit, he responded accordingly, which was he was being misled by the governor. I think he wanted to believe the governor, and I think it finally dawned on him either late Friday night or early Saturday morning. I'm going down. Why am I defending this guy? He's clearly lying to everyone.
I thought you guys did a good job of asking him, and the fact that you asked him about being at the Charlie Kirk thing at Purdue was good, because a lot of people were questioning that. I did think he had a good answer for that. Like, property taxes are important, but the indoctrination of children in our future are more important. But I was glad that you asked him the question.
The problem with that, though, is, Casey, he was not informed of the bill.
Yeah.
He didn't know things about the bill. Your job is not to hang out with Charlie Kirk. You were not elected to hang out with Charlie Kirk. I'm not disputing what's going on college campuses, but if you don't have an informed opinion on the bill, and then you make yourself look bad. No, he got to the right place. He deserves all the credit in the world for getting to the right place, but he caused himself a lot of unnecessary grief. It had just spent that time reading the bill and understanding it versus hanging out with Charlie Kirk.
I know, YouTube chat was fired up. They were fired up about that chat. They told me I was being too soft on him. I literally looked at the second most powerful man in the state of Indiana and said, this bill sucks. This bill's a turd. I asked him, do you know why people are angry at you right now? We asked about the car. We asked about Charlie Kirk. But I get it. Some folks were so angry on the YouTube chat, unless I picked up a chair and went full like WWE 90s era and hit him with it, they weren't going to be happy with it.
And look, people have different interview styles. Like, your show is not our show. Like, you handle things differently. You asked all the right questions. Sometimes you guys do it with more of a smile and a chuckle than we do, but that's the nature of your show. But you asked you got out of that interview. You walked away from the interview thinking he's supporting the bill. And I thought you guys got that from him, and most people did. And then he, I guess, had to clarify he didn't support the bill.
And I get it. I mean, a lot of people didn't like his answer, so they took it out on Nige and I. So that's fine. I get that. But less than 24 hours after that interview, he did a 180 on it. It's like, you know what? I'm not supporting this thing. It is a turd. You're right. I'm out. Threw his money down like Kramer in the contest episode and said, I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah.
So now we wait to see what Governor Braun's going to do. Not this week, but the following Wednesday, he joins us in studio.
Oh.
So we'll see what happens between now and then.
And here's what's frustrating to people is the lying. You didn't have to agree to what we wanted, but he wanted our support. He wanted our support during the election, so he lied to us. He didn't understand this from the beginning. Remember, we had to correct his property tax plan the first time, and that should have been the biggest red flag. Here's the thing, all these people are like, do you regret your support? What would you have done? Look, I would have never supported Donald Rainwater. He had no money. He had no organization. He had a stupid plan he couldn't provide any details on. It turned out he managed his own money like a 9-year-old. I was
going to say, he didn't even have a backbone in regards to his own money.
So to answer that question, all these, told you should have voted for Rainwater. No, I should have just left it blank.
Right.
I mean, like, give me a break. Rainwater, and by the way, Rainwater ran from us. Think he would have taken on the General Assembly? He ran from us when we had questions about it. So you guys did great. You were the catalyst of all that. If he had to put out the statement online too, because he knew he was coming on with you guys. So you did all that, and he came to the right conclusion. But Mike has got to stop trying to appease these people. He's got to stop thinking that they're his friends. These people in the Senate hate you. They're trying to take you down. The governor hates you. He's trying to take you down. Stop playing nice with these people.
And really, if you want relief in property tax, don't count on the local government to give it to you. Count on the Degenerates Next Door podcast. Right. Because had you taken Rob's advice on the Masters, you'd have won so much damn money. care what happens at the State House.
I mean, think about this. For most of the day, Sunday, I had 1, 2, 3 on the board.
Strong. Real strong.
I mean, no, I almost won nothing. And did I not tell you all day? I said, somehow I'll not win this bet.
And it came close.
It came close. Hey, what's coming up this afternoon?
Monday, Gun Day with Guy Relford, the gun guy. And at 4 o'clock today, I believe we're going to announce this year's Tales from the Track event.
Nice.
Dick Simon, let's go.
Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
As an IT professional, you have the opportunity to guarantee your data security, participate in 100% landfill-free disposal, and have peace of mind with R2 V3 certifications. Technology Recyclers provides guaranteed complete data destruction, 100% landfill-free disposal, and the certification to back it up. Protect your data while saving the planet. Receive a free pickup of your e-waste from Technology Recyclers. Visit tech-recyclers.com. That's tech-recyclers.com.
Hey, it's Matt Bear. Warm weather is coming, and now's the time to call Cochran Exteriors to beat the spring rush. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and more. My friends at Cochran Exteriors will give you a free consultation with options to meet your budget, and all without the high pressure or gimmicky sales tactics. Over 10,000 satisfied area customers, a lifetime workmanship warranty. It's why Cochran Exteriors is my choice. Visit CochranExteriors.com.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela of Michaelis. If you have water damage, why should you call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. On call 24/7, 365. We are IICRC certified and will restore your space to pre-loss condition or better. And we work through the entire insurance process on your behalf to make it easy.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI? Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what all the commotion is about at the Indiana State House today, what police know so far about a shooting in Greenwood this morning, and the Indiana Pacers did something that they haven't done in a while. Those stories and much more headed your way after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
Motivated by hate. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. A Harrisburg, Pennsylvania man accused of setting fire to Governor Josh Shapiro's official residence while the family and guests slept is charged with attempted murder, arson, and terrorism. Governor Shapiro says this kind of violence is too common.
I don't give a damn if it's coming from one particular side or the other. Directed at one particular party or another, or one particular person or another. It is not okay.
Police say 38-year-old Cody Ballmer turned himself in and confessed he hates the governor and would have beaten him with a hammer if he'd seen him. President Trump meets with a supporter of his immigration agenda this hour at the White House, El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele. He's accepted hundreds of accused gang members deported from the U.S. to be held at the Secot mega prison. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem on Fox.
El Salvador's been a fantastic partner, and when I was in El Salvador visiting with President Bukele, we talked about the fact that he would accept more flights, would accept more individuals into CCOT, so I'm looking forward to that partnership continuing.
There are court cases over those flights and deportations of several men who deny being in a gang or being dangerous. A celebrity crew of 6 women spent a little over 10 minutes this morning flying to the edge of space and back on the Blue Origin New Shepard rocket. Getting a closer look at what's left of the first full moon of the spring.
You guys, I have to tell you, look at the moon. Look. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's our pink moon.
Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos sent his fiancée Lauren Sanchez on the trip with singer Katy Perry, TV host Gayle King, film producer Carrie Ann Flynn, NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe, and civil rights activist Amanda Nguyen. They took off from Van Horn, Texas. The operator of a tourist helicopter that crashed into New York City's Hudson River on Friday is ending operations effective immediately. All 6 people on board were killed. New York Helicopter Tours was already under federal investigation. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're here and making their intentions clear. Now up to 64 degrees in the Circle City, but nothing on your radar. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. That kid might be thinking the same thing you are if you're near the Indiana State House today, with hundreds of teachers there hoping to get answers about a property tax bill that could seriously cut their funding, like this teacher named Tiffany Jones, who spoke to WIBC's Ryan Hedrick.
What school are you representing today?
Union School Corporation, yep.
And why are you guys out here today?
Because they're trying to shut us down. Honestly, it's my first year with the school, first year teaching, being in the school system at all.
She says ever since her kids moved to Union, they have better grades and they're more active in extracurricular activities. Union's one of several school districts on an e-learning day today, while others, like Indianapolis Public Schools, are on an asynchronous day. Not only are teachers upset with this property tax bill, so are city and county leaders who fear it will cause a serious financial loss. With more on that, here's WIBC's Chris Davis.
The loss would have to be made up somewhere, and the property tax bill allows for that to be done with income taxes on the local level. Steve Dillinger is a commissioner for Hamilton County.
If those tax dollars are cut, then we'll have to make that up somewhere. You know, when you have a growth county like Hamilton, you can't cut back on services. You have to keep being progressive.
On Which TV's All Indiana Politics. When asked if the Senate would concur or do some more negotiating, Senate President pro tempore Rod Bray said it will likely pass as is. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And that vote on the property tax bill might happen today in the Senate. What you pay at the gas pump has been going down lately. Gas Buddy says the statewide average is $3.07 a gallon, which is an 18-cent drop from this time last week. A shooting in Greenwood this morning around 3 o'clock on Dietz Drive, which is just east of I-65 near East Main Street and Commerce Parkway East Drive. Police say the person who was shot has several gunshot wounds, and they do have a suspect in custody. Game 1 of the NBA playoff series between the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks is Saturday at 1 o'clock. The Pacers closed out the regular season with a 126-118 victory in double overtime Sunday against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle says his team is made up of something special.
Showed so much courage and fortitude and wherewithal and resilience. It was amazing. And so really because of those guys, we have a 50-win season, which is something to really be proud of.
And this is their first 50-win season since the 2013-14 campaign. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
You love spring and Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Indy, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Damon's Garden Company South on Emerson Avenue.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Look, real quick.
Yeah.
We are not the cause of all of this, okay?
Somebody say we were?
Well, no, everybody's trying to like pin all of this on us that we created all this. No. We are This is one thing, and God bless people. They're being nice to us. People are, all this stuff that's going on with the property tax and everything. And it's, you guys did this. And now that all the attention the red-shirted teachers are getting because, you did this and that. And look, and this is the one thing I don't think the governor appreciates at all, is we don't invent things, right? Like, I don't just make things up and then people go, that's not really going on in my life, but the radio guy said it, so... Okay, cool. I'll go with that. We're talking about the thing that people are actually experiencing. I think that's one of the things that gets lost in translation of why this show is so popular. If we were talking about things that people didn't care about, they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't. They learn from this show. They do. There's no doubt. People are learning what a scam that property tax bill is from this show. The things like the business exemption that they're lying about or the lit that they're trying to deceive you on. They're learning from the show. But if people weren't experiencing the pain in their life, they wouldn't be listening to this show to learn these things. And I think what happens is people learn things on this show. They then, as we're about to talk about, on various forum boards and internet accounts and everything else, post these things, and they go, well, it's just Kendall and Casey making people get all ginned up. No, that's not it. We are the straw that stirs the drink. There's no doubt about that. But people are pissed because they're seeing their property tax bills.
Yeah, I didn't make it up that mine increased 17.4% this year.
Like, people have always been pissed. They just look at it and go, there's the voice.
I'm not the only one.
Right. Yeah. That's what we do. And we do this because we don't care. Now, what's going to be interesting tomorrow is Tony's going to have Braun on, or at least he said that during his morning show. And Tony needs to hold him down on things like the business exemption, what's actually going on with the lit, why he promised us meaningful reform, and if he thinks a 10% credit when people's bills are still going up $500 or $600, if a $300 or $200 credit is meaningful relief. And then pin him down on what the supposed roadmap is. What the hell's the plan? What is the reform? Yeah, what is the reform?
Did Tony, I don't know, I'm wondering if he booked that interview based on the announcement that Braun's going to be at the library tomorrow at 11 for an announcement. But that's with the RFK Jr. Make Indiana Healthy Again
nobody cares
initiatives.
About that. Nobody cares about that, Casey. He can try to deflect and say that and whatever. Look, what were you saying? There's some post Braun made, and it's not even about property tax, and every comment is about property tax.
Yeah, well, he posted this morning. He said, marriage is the fundamental cornerstone of strong families and strong communities, and we need to make sure Indiana's tax and benefit systems aren't penalizing Hoosiers for getting married. Just in time for tax day, I've signed an executive order that will make sure Indiana's policies are providing an incentive for Hoosiers to build strong families rather than getting in the way.
What does that even mean? Here's an idea how you can build a strong family. Let people afford to stay in their homes.
Okay, well, and then you get down into some of the comments. You know what really hurts families? Paying tax for unrealized gains on a home they're using to raise the next generation of income taxpayers. How about you deal with rising property taxes? Mine have gone up 58%. And word is going up another 30% next year. And then there's another comment. I don't know, Mike. Would be nice to actually own a home to raise said family in instead of paying a bank for 30 years and leasing it from the government until I die.
And you know what? Where you really see how full of crap these people are is, let's go back to the Daniel Elliott thing, where the state treasurer, Daniel Elliott, comes to the legislature in a totally above-board altruistic fashion and says, I would like to help you. The same way as, and I've talked about this before, I knew this property tax bill was in trouble when before Senate Bill 1 was heard, I sent Bray and Holdman emails. And I said, we are here to help you guys, because I was assuming, hey, it's Senate Bill 1. They're serious about passing this. Let us do what we do to help you. And I sent them both very nice emails. And I said, we will help you however we can help you. You just tell us what it is, and we will do it. And I got an auto response from one of them and nothing from the other. And I said, uh-oh. This is not. And I was talking to people in the state house saying, tell these guys. Like, I was still naively thinking, okay, tell these guys. Like, I really want to help them. I know we've had some issues in the past, but like, tell them we want to help. And nobody would meet with me. Nobody would talk to me. Nobody would anything. And what you quickly realize then when Daniel Elliott comes and says, I have a way we can help everybody. All we got to do is just change the way locals are allowed to invest their money. I have a track record of doing this. Here's the success. And then not only do they deny him the ability to do this,
they put more restrictions on it.
Right, to protect the banking industry, of which Travis Holdman is, I believe, a consultant for the banking industry. And then Braun's going to sign this budget. He'll sign the budget with it in there. You realize they don't care about you at all. They don't want to help you. None of these people are interested, other than there's a handful. Ireland, Haggard. I don't think there's any in the Senate. I guess we'll find out. But you look at this and you just go, how can you people be so callous that you know your fellow citizens are getting completely screwed? And it's one thing to say, like, this is what's so confusing about Senate Bill 1 now. In the initial gutting of Senate Bill 1, you said, okay, Baldwin, Holdman, all these guys, you have chosen the governments over the people. Oh, okay, I get that. I don't agree with it, obviously, but I get you've picked the team. Now you're screwing the governments and the people with the new Senate Bill 1. Oh boy, I almost said it. You're choosing to screw over everyone.
Yeah. So this
does that make any sense?
No,
there's not even a team being picked here.
Nobody likes this bill now. And when Braun's talking about Executive Order 2551, which is removing government-imposed tax penalties on marriage, the comments go back to, how about a real property tax bill that actually helps people and doesn't help the locals crank the lit tax? You're paving over our communities and screwing us just like the last guy. Somebody else says, hey, Mike, let me quickly go over what you promised Hoosiers versus what SB1 offers, just so everyone who watches your posts is aware. Hoosiers voted for meaningful and significant reduction, not $300 bills. I mean, everybody. He's talking about this marriage incentive, and everybody's talking about property tax.
And I've always struggled with this and again, look, these guys are total sociopaths, so they don't think of it the same. I mean, think about it, they sat in that meeting and lied right to my face. Like, they didn't think I was going to figure it out. This is the thing I've always told these guys. You take me for stupid. I'm not the normal person you deal with in the media. I've lived this life. I know how to read. Like, and no matter how many times they have to be proven with this, and when the first iteration of the Braun bill, which you never had any intention anyway of passing. Remember when all that came out and they were fighting me on what it was actually going to do? And then ultimately they had to agree that I was correct, that it didn't help people. I told them at the time, I said, look, what you guys don't get is I don't work for you. I don't like you. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to be friends with you. I don't need anything from you. And you guys depend on that. And I said, new game, because that's not me. You know who I'm beholden to? Our audience. You know, I was thinking about this when I was driving into work today. My first full-time job in radio, I was an overnight guy on a classic rock station.
Yeah.
We have worked for the same person, and we had very different experiences.
Correct.
With the person we worked with. But one of the things that was fascinating, so I was 21 years old, and these guys would call me every single night. Like, you're working 2 to 6 a.m., and these guys who would work in factories or at auto plants would call, and they would call almost the same time every single day or night, whatever. And you would talk to these guys, and they didn't want anything. They just were like, we like you, and we want to talk to you. And one of the things that talking to these guys that were working in these factories and car plants and stuff that you realized is our business is built on trust. You're talking to the guy on the other, in this case, on the other end of the phone. This was before streaming and all this other stuff, right? Was a prevalent thing. Nobody see. You're just talking to a guy on the other end of the phone. And one of the things you realize that this industry was built on, and especially the talk side of things, but even the music side of things, is a sense of connection and trust with the audience. And our audience makes us, and they're the only people who can break us. That I formed that opinion talking to auto workers at 2:30 in the morning 20 years ago. And it's never been lost on me, and it's true, never been more true than it is now. People enjoy our program, our record numbers that we're bringing in that grow by the day, because we never bullcrap people. Like, I went on Friday and said, I'm sorry for telling you to vote for Braun. And I laid out why I told people to do that and what I wanted to believe and where my heart was. And people accept that. They go, hey, the guy tried. He tried. We all were fooled, right? But I don't run from that. And the politicians have no trust with the people. Mike Braun will never have trust with the people again. So I hope it was worth it to sell out to some... I can't say that. I hope it was worth it, Casey, to sell out to some guy like Jeff Thompson who doesn't know his head from his ass, who quite frankly is wrong all the time, who is unlikable, who can't explain anything to anyone. Was that worth it, Mike?
Okay.
Was that worth it to screw hundreds of thousands of people who believed in you for nothing?
I really wonder if Braun invited you into that meeting before the announcement came. He was just trying to smooth things over with you. Like, hey, you know what? This is what it's going to be. And we don't want you to go on the air and blast us. And you told him right there, I'm going to be honest with my audience.
Yeah. They take people for fools. This is how politicians work. They think because you get invited into some sort of club that, oh, you're just going to go along because you're in the cool kid club. No, we are the cool kid club. We have 50,000 people some days that tune into this program. We are the cool kid club. Braun said it. You realize that our rally, Braun said, I've never seen anything like this in my own political events. Because people want to be around us. They want to hang out with us. So I don't get swayed. They just never can put that arrogance down, though, that we're the ones who you'll want to be with. And because we tell you, they're their little boy. Now run along and tell your audience what we're going to tell you. And they don't know how to deal with people who are like, I don't peddle your bullcrap. And that's what this is. It's bullcrap. And so it's going to be a miserable 4 years for Mike. And by the way, you and I could go away tomorrow and that ain't going to change. They could say we're done with Kendall and Casey tomorrow and that's not going to change because people have figured it out. People have seen it for themselves. That's why this year, no matter what else happens, is not a loss. Because unlike ever before, people's eyes have been opened. You and I could be out of here tomorrow, and it wouldn't matter because everybody already knows what's going on.
Is it too late for him? Like, is it too late for Braun if he were to go through the 3-step process?
No!
If he were to come out, Senate could potentially be voting in 2 hours on this bill. If Braun were to come out and say, you know what, you're right, it's bad. I apologize. We're gonna take corrective action.
No, people would understand.
People would go, okay.
The same way Micah did. Look at what happened to Micah from Friday to Saturday. People were ready to torch that guy. And what'd he do? He admitted, okay, I wanted to believe it. I wanted to believe in the governor. I wanted to believe what he's saying. But I finally seen enough to say, nobody likes this bill. I'm urging him to veto it. Braun could do the same thing and still garner that same level of respect back from people. But he's not going to do that because Mike Braun is a politician at heart.
He dug his heels in.
Unlike Micah. Micah's not a politician. Micah's a pastor who's in public office. Now, Micah's made some serious missteps, and he's learning as he goes.
And he needs to take corrective action on some of those missteps as well.
He does, but at least he was willing to say, I'm wrong. I'm wrong, and here's what we need to do. And look at how the people responded. Thank you, Micah. Thanks for listening to us. Now, it sucks it has to be that hard, but at least somebody was listening. But Braun is a politician through and through. He's some super rich, out of touch guy. He's always been that. He thinks that these phrases like jump. I've never even heard of the phrase jumbo home, right? So he has no sense of commonality.
Oh, he just called them McMansions.
He's being advised by people who are connected to the Gentrys, and we all know what they are. And he's just No, I hope the red-shirted teachers get somewhere today, but you can just kiss Braun goodbye because he has no interest in helping you. He's weak. That's the thing. I know we got to get you a break. The core of it all, isn't it that he's a liar? It's he's weak. He's weak, and he doesn't have the stomach for the fight.
He didn't have it to stand up to Houston or Thompson.
No, he had it. He had it in that one moment when he saw us at that rally. It's the only time he's ever had the sense of a fight in him. And once that rally went away,
he didn't go back to the Senate and say, "No, this is what I want. I'm the governor."
You know who would have? Ron DeSantis.
Oh well.
And that's why Ron DeSantis is the most beloved governor in America, and Mike Braun is just some rich, out-of-touch old guy who, Lord willing, might be a one-term governor. But that's
talk about a rich guy. Donald Trump had his physical exam, and we've got the summary coming up. We'll see if you agree on how much he weighs. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
The agenda is taking shape.
Since Inauguration Day.
From education to energy.
We will drill, baby, drill.
From the economy to the military.
We will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen.
Watch it unfold day by day.
My first day back.
First 100 days.
It's a tough job, but I've had a lot of tough jobs.
Follow the first 100 days on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
You ready to build your custom dream home? Check out Joyner Homes based out of Greenfield. See one of their model homes in person anytime. It is a great way for you to experience the customization and quality of a Joyner Homes custom built home. Plus, you can meet with a new home specialist to learn about their building process. Available lots if you don't already have one. Find out about floor plans and where they build. Model homes are open 7 days a week from noon to 5 and walk-ins are welcome. Find out more at joynerhomes.com.
Hi, friends. This is Patty Spittler with Pet Pals TV. You know, I'm very comfortable in front of the camera, but the telephone can intimidate me. Because of my hearing loss, I can't hear well on a regular telephone. Now, with my caption telephone, I'm making contacts in a busy world. My caption telephone through Relay Indiana allows me to read what the other person is saying. Go to RelayIndiana.com to learn more about the caption telephone. Read what you're hearing.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their large selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon, along with the Big Green Egg.
Donald Trump underwent his annual physical on Friday at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. The conclusion was that he remains in excellent health. Cardiac, pulmonary, neurological, and general physical function all described as robust. He scored a perfect 30 out of 30 on his cognitive test, which matches his 2018 score. And
wait, time. So just a reminder, I don't mean to cut you off, but the cognitive test, they give this to people over a certain age when you do your yearly physical. I think Medicare requires it, but it's like they'll give you 3 things, and then the doctor will talk to you for a while and say, okay, what were those 3 things?
You got to repeat them back.
And there's something about a clock where you have to draw a certain time on the clock, and people who have like Alzheimer's or dementia can't do it. So it's a test for those sort of things. Well, Trump famously did this test, and then he went and did an interview with some guy, and it was about a bunch of different things. I can't remember who the guy was, but the guy was like asking him about all different international events and everything, and like every third answer, Trump would be like, and it was duck, and it was apple, and it was green, and like he just kept, see, I got it right again.
That's what he said this time. I got every answer right.
I'll never forget that. Like, no matter what question you got, hey, Pelosi's really coming at you hard about your tax proposal. Yes, it's very hard. And I got duck, and I got apple, and it was green, and it was, see, I'm still getting it right.
He was also screened for his mental health, for depression and anxiety, and they were all in normal range as well. Now, I don't know if you knew this about Donald Trump. He has diverticulitis. And also,
that's an internal disease. That's a gut.
That's a gut thing.
Yeah.
And he also has a benign polyp, and he was recommended to have a follow-up in 2027. Now, his skin, he does have some minor sun damage and a few benign lesions from all of the sun that he's getting.
Yeah, because he plays golf all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
He does have 4 current medications, and this one surprised me. I didn't know this about him. He takes a statin for cholesterol.
Okay.
And another cholesterol medicine.
Uh-huh.
He takes an aspirin for cardiac health, and he has some topical cream for his skin. He's up to date on all his vaccinations, and his right ear does have some scarring from the assassination attempt.
You know, my grandparents both lived to be into their 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is my grandparents lived to be the exact same age, literally within a few months of each other in terms of their actual age when they passed away. And you could not have had 2 more different people in terms of how they treated themselves. Like, my grandmother was the epitome of physical fitness.
Mm-hmm.
She exercised every day, took great care of herself, her skin, whatever. My grandpa went like 40 years and never even went to a dentist. I mean, like, but my grandpa always used to say, like, God is in control and your time is going to be your time. And I don't think that's totally true. Like, if you're smoking every day or whatever, but you think about that, genetics, the good Lord blessing you, is a big part of it, right?
Some of it's nature, some of it's nurture.
Well, right. I mean, there's healthy people who drop dead, you know, all the time, and then there's people like this guy who you're looking at him and like, dude, you live off Big Macs and Diet Cokes.
Who passed away first, your grandmother or grandfather?
My grandfather passed away in January, and then she passed away September of that same
of a broken heart
year. Well, when you're in the 90s, you lived a pretty good... We've had this conversation. If somebody comes to you right now and, just pick a number. Casey, if I said you can live to 90 years old and until the end you will be in relatively high level of health, would you take 90 years old at a relatively high level of health, or would you play... what's the show? Let's Make a Deal?
If you could say I could live to 90, relatively good health, I would take that.
And you wouldn't spin the chamber, Boris?
No, I would take that.
Kev.
I mean, keep in mind, my father passed away at 72.
Oh, that's true. Kev. If I told you, I'll give you 90 years of relatively good health, and then, whatever, you can, I'm not trying to be crass here, but like you have an unpainful passing. Would you take 90 years of relatively good health and an unpainful passing, or are you saying, I'm gambling, I can make it to 100?
I would take 90.
Oh, I would definitely take 90.
I think that's a pretty good one to settle at.
I mean, I think what's the average man lives to be 78?
Yeah.
And the average woman is 79, so that seems to be a little bit longer.
No, I get it, but what I'm saying is realistically, in my mind, I would be saying, but I could be denying the public an additional 10 years of this.
Well, and you also got to consider there could be medical advances by that time. So
think about if the public...
I still think 90 is pretty good.
If the public knew that they could have had 10 more years of me and I gave it up early.
Hey, do you know how much Donald Trump weighed?
How much they said he weighed, or how much he really weighs?
How much they said he weighed.
I saw the number was 224.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Think that's right?
He's 6'3", and
he is 6'3".
He's a tub of goo. There's no way he's 220.
I don't know. They said he was in excellent health and fully fit to serve.
I don't doubt he's fully fit to serve. There's been a lot. Look at some of the presidents, right? I mean, he's probably way better than some of these guys. Look at the guy. Look at him when he doesn't have a suit on.
His blood pressure was really good, though. 128 over 74.
His moobs are ridiculous, Casey. There's no way.
It's a man's ear.
I mean, but whatever. It works for him. I'm just saying, don't lie to me that he's look at this guy. He's practically what was the Jack Lane or whatever the guy's name was, the physical fitness guy.
Yeah,
that's who he is out there.
So it took them 4 hours to do his entire physical exam, and he was consulted by 14 specialty consultants. Can you imagine? Like, so many people don't even like to go to one doctor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Think about how hard it is to get into one doctor, and this guy's like, there'll be 14 people to see you.
They got them
sir.
all lined up. Like, next.
Jeez.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A discussion they hope leads to results. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. You'll be seeing lots of red if you're near the Indiana State House today.
And why is this day important to you?
This day is important because they're trying to pass it's not House Bill, it's Senate Bill 1, where they're trying to take taxpayer money away from public education. Public education is the only tool some of our students have.
That's WIBC's Ryan Hedrick speaking to a teacher named Connor Lopp, who's wearing a red shirt like many of her colleagues on this day of action for teachers. She says if this legislation is passed, then it would close down about 20 schools. A person injured in a shooting this morning in Greenwood, another person in custody, and the Ohio State football team is going to be at the White House today as President Trump celebrates their national championship victory back in January. On the Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Indiana patients rely on many types of pharmacies to access their medications and critical healthcare services. But a proposal being considered in the Indiana legislature called SB 140 would disrupt access to medications for Indiana patients. SB 140 would impose government mandates blocking access to critical pharmacy options and services in Indiana. Lost access to pharmacy options would directly harm many of Indiana's most vulnerable patients, including patients fighting cancer and heart disease, many of whom rely on specialty pharmacies for their care. SB 140 would even hike costs for Indiana patients by imposing a $10 tax on every prescription filled in the state. That would often fall directly on the patient. Tell your state legislator, protect access to medications, reject higher costs. Put Indiana patients first by voting no on SB 140, paid for by conservatives for lower healthcare costs.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
Men over 40, struggling with low energy, not feeling like yourself. Low T Center's testosterone replacement therapy is the solution. Get started today. Visit one of their conveniently located clinics, meet a medical provider, and get back to feeling your best.
This month only, the consultation is free. Treatment is tailor-made just for you, and it's covered by most health insurance. Get treated at a Low T Center near you or even in the comfort of your home. Book your appointment now at lowtcenter.com. lowtcenter.com.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market. Even in winter, we're bringing you the best in farm fresh flavors. Stop in for our fresh salad bar, hot and crispy wing bar, and a cheese selection that is second to none. Got a sweet tooth? Our homemade pies, creamy fudge, and old-fashioned candy will hit the spot. Come see us on US 31 just north of Carmel. We're open every day 9 to 6. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about fresh, local, and delicious. See you soon.
As a high school student athlete, it makes a difference when the stands are filled with cheering fans. I'm Reed Robinson from New Prairie High School.
And I'm Autumn Rife from North White High School. It motivates us to do our best when we know our entire school community has our backs.
When they understand the real purpose of high school sports.
When they remember learning life lessons is more important than winning.
When they keep athletic events fun and positive for everyone.
That's what being a champion of high school sports is all about.
Whether you're a parent, fan, coach, official, administrator, or broadcaster, we all have a role to play in championing high school sports.
Thank you for supporting our schools, our communities, and our student athletes.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support the mission of education-based athletics by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is being a champion of high school sports. This is preserving the second classroom. This is your IHSAA.
Damon's Garden Center West has trees, shrubs, vegetables, flowers, hanging baskets, plus garden and landscape supplies and knowledgeable staff. Damon's West on Rockville Road.
Plumbing problems stink. The LD Smith Crew can handle anything. Call today for $50 off any plumbing repair, big or small.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
He's flip-flopping. He said originally he was going to leave his children just a minuscule portion of his huge fortune, but now Bill Gates plans to leave his kids $500 million each.
Oh, wow.
So he's got 3 kids, Jennifer, who's 28, Rory, who's 25, and Phoebe, who's 22.
Can you imagine being in your 20s and knowing you stand to inherit
$500 million?
Right? You didn't have to do anything for it.
Would you just stop whatever you're doing and just hang out?
Well, it would change your trajectory on what you do and how you decide to do it. Now, it depends on what your lifestyle is too, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's $1.5 billion.
Mm-hmm.
But would my life really change if I got $500 million? I do this for sport.
Yeah.
I don't.
You'd have enough money to buy the building across from the state.
That's right. I would
put
do
that sheet out front.
Well, now we could say a big giant sheet outside the Lockmiller building that says
Backroom Braun.
Backroom Braun sucks, and then I could rent that plane that fly over the State House that says Backroom Braun sucks. But other than that, I mean, what I do this. It's fun. I would probably buy a little nicer car.
Mm-hmm.
I would, but what else? I mean, I'm a minimalist. I'd live a very meager existence.
And then your daughter would be set for her life.
Well, so I got my insurance. They tell you what your insurance would be valued at if you kick the bucket, which is always kind of morbid, but I guess they're required to send that to you. So I told my wife the other day, I said, "You want to know how much you'd get if I die?" And she goes, "No." She goes, "I love you. I want you here.
You're priceless."
And then I read her the amount, and then she repeated the amount back to me.
Did she?
So no.
She's just retaining that information.
Suddenly more interested
for future
yes.
use. Okay, so Phoebe Gates, who is the youngest daughter of Bill Gates.
Phoebe Gates, not Cates.
Phoebe Gates.
Phoebe Cates.
Different girl altogether.
From Pastimes at Ridgemont
Yeah.
High.
She had a business failure. She had an idea for a Bluetooth tampon. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
Wait.
She was at Stanford University.
No.
Come back to that.
What'd you say?
You heard what I said. She discussed her business failure with an idea for a Bluetooth tampon. I don't know. I'm not researching it. I don't know what you would need a Bluetooth for.
I don't mean to get in the mechanics of how that works because it's a family program, but
it's a failure.
It talks to you while the thing is doing the thing.
I guess. I don't know why you'd have to.
That's wild.
Uh-huh.
Hard to believe that didn't go over better.
Yeah, exactly. So she was at Stanford. You've got Rory Gates, who is a congressional analyst.
Mm-hmm.
He's working on his doctorate. And then Jennifer Gates is studying medicine. She has a residency in New York. But if you were the kids, would you just be like,
well, okay.
Done.
So, by the way, he's backpedaling. Because remember, he initially said he wasn't going to give him anything, basically, right?
Right.
And
now he's saying, well, he's not going to give his grandchildren anything.
Well, does he have grandchildren?
Yeah.
I don't even know if he does. My non-existent grandchildren will get nothing.
Right.
But, okay. So, because you hear this with kids of famous athletes, how rare it is. Barry Bonds was successful after Bobby Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr. after his dad. But in terms of super successful pro athletes, look at LeBron James' kid and how he's struggling, right? It's Michael Jordan's son, whatever. It's very hard because of all the pressure to follow a super famous parent. And I would imagine some of this is true in this world as well, because your father, as bizarro and let's quite frankly just say it, evil as some of the things he comes up with appear to be, he is one of the most important people that have lived in human history from the standpoint of how his invention changed the way people communicate, how information is shared, how we process things. No Windows. Imagine a world without Windows, right?
No,
I mean, now
Microsoft.
somebody might have done it eventually, right? But the point is, you are living in a sort of this cocoon-like bubble from your birth. You don't understand normalcy. Probably there's somebody that believes everybody around you is using you in some capacity or trying to use you in some capacity.
Right, just to get your money.
And, right. And so you don't live a normal existence, and it becomes very hard. like we were talking about Rory McIlroy. Here's a great example. What people don't realize is Rory McIlroy was a child prodigy. Not to the level Tiger was, where Tiger's 2 years old hitting golf balls on TV. But Rory was pretty close. Rory was the guy from the time he was a little kid. And so as a result, your whole life is that bubble. And what you saw yesterday from Rory, where DeChambeau's talking about, hey, he didn't want to talk to me or, whatever. Same thing with Tiger. He didn't talk to people. But they don't know how to human. It's hard for people to human when you don't live a normal human existence as a young person. When you're not allowed to be a kid, when you're not allowed to interact in a normal fashion, or what we associate with being normal. And so for these kids of super rich parents, and that's why I'm fearful for Elon Musk's 30 kids or whatever he's got now, that it's like, what sort of normalcy do they understand? The answer is none.
Yeah, they don't. They don't, absolutely. And I feel like if we're talking about Bill Gates, we have to ask the question, where are the Epstein files?
Yeah, great question.
And what's going on with Pam Bondi?
Well, hey.
You remember all those influencers were trotted out with their white binders?
That's right.
That was like step one.
Yeah.
Where's the rest?
Hey, and who killed Kennedy? Oh, Oswald did it. That's right.
What's going on? Okay, so Gretchen Whitmer, she was photographed at the White House. You remember she was visiting the White House. We talked about her briefly last week. But she was photographed holding folders over her face while she was there.
You can't see me?
Right. Okay, so that's very much like a childlike, I can't see you, you can't see me. And critics said that she was embarrassed and uncomfortable to be called in to the White House.
But why? He's the president. You have a vested interest. It's like us having Jesse Brown on earlier today. I don't agree with you and you don't agree with me, but we can be adults and we can be professional and we can agree on or we can find a point of commonality, even though for very different reasons, that this thing is bad for all the people we claim to care about. So let's work together on this. Same thing with her and these tariffs. She believes it's beneficial to her state. You can go... I've never been a person. Now, the Chris Christie hugging the president on the tarmac after the storm and strolling on the beach together and like some, romance novel like that. All that stuff's over the top. But you can go be businesslike with somebody of another party. You can go meet and discuss things. You can stand together and go, I'm the governor of the state. You're the president. We're meeting for our constituents. What is the problem? But everything's politicized now.
Apparently, she was surprised to be called into the Oval Office. Like, she knew she was going to be at the White House for these meetings, but did not know that she was going to be called into the Oval Office. And then when they started taking pictures, she tried to hide her face. Like, what? She doesn't want to be seen there. And then... Because
she's going to run for president, and she doesn't want that photo op.
Right, but... And instead, she just made it completely worse. But how about Trump saying that she's done a really excellent job and that she's a good person?
Yeah, Trump says that about everybody.
Why does he do that?
Except for me. I think he meant it when he said it about me.
He said that meeting you was a great dream?
I mean, think about that. He'd known a guy for 20 minutes and said I was a great dream. That's the Trump level. I've known you for 20 minutes. You're a great dream. You get what's going on. I wish everybody could be just like you. That's the Trump standard. Rob Kendall has set the Trump standard. So let's not read too much into any of that.
I want to know if you're really going to head over to the State House. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show 306 this afternoon. We're announcing this year's Tales from the Track. We've got that big announcement and the biggest stories in Indy.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer, owner of Comer & Cross Concrete Floors. If you're even thinking about a new garage floor, I promise you will love your new Comer & Cross garage floor more than any home improvement you do. Every single day for years to come. That's why so many builders use Comer & Cross. And Comer & Cross patios look way better than a new one at a fraction of the cost. Comer & Cross garage floors and patios are the gold standard, guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And we make it so easy. We are all courteous uniform pros. We have the equipment and know-how to fix your concrete perfectly before applying your gleaming, new, proprietary Comer & Cross finish. We even take your stuff out for you. For your quick and easy, no sales pressure estimate, please call us right now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a D-SNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
Matt Bear here. Those heavy spring rains are right around the corner. Make sure you're ready for them with a free roof inspection from my friends at Cochran Exteriors. Notice a musty smell inside your attic, shingles curling, or have a leaky problem area? It's time to get it done. Call Cochran Exteriors for a free, no obligation consultation with options to meet your budget with a lifetime workmanship warranty. Get scheduled now before the spring brush. Visit CochranExteriors.com.
Potential cannot be measured, and it can't be taken away from you either. You never know how strong you are, how capable, and how amazing you really are until you face a challenge. Our Franciscan Health orthopedic teams guide the steps you take to overcome life's hurdles. Be ready for the high fives, the constant encouragement and care plans designed for only you that help you realize your extraordinary potential. Learn more at franciscanhealth.org/orthocare.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Weekday mornings at 7:15, the Tony Katz Popcorn Moment, brought to you by Boer Remodeling. Don't wait any longer for the kitchen you've been dreaming of. Request a consultation at boerremodeling.com.
Tired of digging through noise to find real news? Go straight to WIBC.com. Local stories, statewide impact, national headlines, info that matters. When news breaks, WIBC.com is already on it. Stay on the know while you're on the go.
Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, tender woman. Sigh the snake.
Casey, if I don't make it back from the State House today, tell my story.
I can't believe, well, I'll speak of you in death like I do in life.
That's right.
Because that's what you want. So you're going to go over there, huh? You're going to go to the State House.
Totally. Why wouldn't I?
I don't know. Because you value your life. Aren't you nervous that you'll get tarred and feathered?
Nah.
You have spent years railing on these people.
Yeah, and they still should be railed at. I mean, look, we talked about this with Jesse Brown earlier and throughout the course of the day. I'm totally torn on this because on one hand, and we've talked about this numerous times, these teachers shutting down their school systems, leveraging their position of trust and authority to shut down their school systems is totally egregious and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yet, for once, because I mean, accidentally, We're not against this bill for the same reasons,
right?
But yet they are correct in the fact of it is an awful. This Senate Bill 1, this property tax bill, is a horrible, awful, terrible bill that will make everyone angry and was done behind closed doors, backroom Braun, and his closed door bill, and they are right in the cause this time, and they will actually help millions of people if they're successful. But yet I'm still torn on the fact that I feel like they're totally screwing the kids.
Okay, we need to talk about this because I struggled all weekend long. I even went out to a waterfall and climbed under a tree and tried to
took it really serious.
Try to enjoy the outdoors just a little bit and put this aside for a moment. But I'm really struggling with Braun. And maybe it's because of the gaslighting or the manipulation, because that's what that does to you. I don't know. So help me work through this. Like, he looked at us. He said, I'm going to fight. He was here in the studio. He put out this proposal. And then at the end of the day, we get this SB1. Should I be more angry at Braun, or should I be more angry at Houston and Thompson, who I think are trying to flex their muscle in the General Assembly?
No, you should be angry at Braun. Those guys are what they are, what they're always been. Like, say what you want about Holcomb. Holcomb from the get-go was like, F that guy and F those people at IBC, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And, you knew what you were dealing with him. He didn't lie to anybody. He didn't. Now, I mean, when he do those press conferences during COVID and all that stuff, I mean, that was totally hypocrisy and stupidity and everything else. But he never came to us and said, I want to work with you. He never said, you're right. He never said, oh, I'm hearing it from everyone. He never did that to us. Braun lied to everyone. Braun screwed everyone. That is a total level of sociopathic, narcissistic behavior to look at 1,000 people in the face, to look right at them, and then just screw them over. Oh, and then gaslight everybody after you did it about what you even did?
But you don't think that he tried to really do something?
No.
Like, he raised it from 7% to 10%. Nope. He said that's the deal. He wanted to get that done, and he got that done.
He wouldn't have lied to me in that meeting about what they actually did in the bill.
Yeah.
And there are key things that they were, at the very best, wrong about. Okay? So we've been through this before, and this is why I'm cheering for the teachers today, because they are actually on the side of exposing and defeating misleading, deceptive, bullcrap behavior from backroom Braun and these Republicans. And that is, this is the best example. They looked right at me and said, we're getting rid of that business personal property tax exemption. That's one of the first things they said to me.
Yeah.
And great. That's wonderful. And then you're going along, and I even went on the air and told people that, because out of that meeting, I thought, okay, there's, here's what I know right now. They had made the public announcement, so I'm working through it. And then you start reading into the bill, and you go, what they did was they raised the exemption from $80,000 to $2 million.
Yeah.
Well, that's the overwhelming amount of businesses in this state will not have to pay this anymore. So while technically, by the letter of the law, they didn't eliminate the exemption, they know they eliminated it for most people, including a lot of really big businesses.
So am I struggling because I really wanted to believe Braun? Is that it?
Yes.
And I really shouldn't turn my anger more towards Houston and Thompson?
No, those guys
Or should I divide it up evenly?
Look, Jeff, I heard somebody say this the other night, which is Jeff Thompson has no concept of how to explain anything to anyone.
Yeah.
And he may
Good thing he was the teacher.
Yes, right? Yes, he may genuinely believe or / understand whatever nonsense is in that 360 plus pages.
But nobody else does.
Yeah. And again, if you're taking guys like me, I think I'm the upper 99.99999 percentile of understanding property taxes. Andrew Ireland, is probably literally the smartest guy in the state house. The lieutenant governor came out and he's like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Braun, I'm telling you, Braun has no idea. The fact that Braun had to say, I'm looking through everything line by line. Why didn't you do that before you signed the bill? Because Braun doesn't know property taxes. By the way, Braun's default is also to raise your taxes, biggest tax increase in the history of the state. And so this is no big deal to him. They don't know what Litt's going to do. We heard Jesse Brown sit right here. He's a city county councilor. He said, while Indy might maybe get out okay, most counties are going to see the taxes go up. You're either Braun is lying right to everyone's face, or he's so utterly clueless he has no idea what's in his bill. Either way, it's ridiculous, and that's why we got to cheer for the teachers today. But I'm torn because they're abandoning the kids.
Yes, this is true. All right, well, you've got your red shirt, and you're going to head over there, aren't you?
Well, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
I wish you luck with that high purpose, so well-befitting manhood. My heart goes with you.
Is it time to go?
It is. Good luck on your travels.
Thank you.
And thank you for today. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Watching your parents get older is something you never get used to. You know it's going to happen, but it still doesn't seem right, especially when the time comes to consider moving a parent into a nursing home. It's a hard decision for you and them, and when that's the right choice, there's the added stress of what to do with the house. Simple Quarters understands and can help relieve some of that stress. They're a Christian company who is compassionate